fall over. But yeah, we get into this final best of 3 of the day. Next week's the big week across all of APL when we get into lower bracket finals and grand finals. And for these two teams, only one of them is going to be able to attend that, get that opportunity against E+ in the lower bracket final, which obviously for SCARZ, guys, they did play against E+ in that upper bracket semifinal, and they got trounced 7-3, 7-3. So if SCARZ can win this, they're going to have to really improve on that previous result against E+. For Talon, though, looking to obviously make that lower bracket run, which a reference point is maybe SSG and what they did in North America, losing in that upper bracket quarterfinal, and then making the dream run from the lower. That's what Talon's trying to do here in APAC North.
So the bands have played out Clash, Kaid for defense, Monty, Grim on attack. Grim is a particularly popular operator here on Consulate. You think about CEO hits, even Garage to an extent, being able to flush out or at least get in front. A lot of those key positions is rather useful. And so PSG won't be able to crutch that heading into this first half. Early signs, though, indicating that it may still be a CEO hit. Despite the Grim not being on the board, tools like the ROUs from Yas, the flashes from the Candelas of Soldier, etc. will be very powerful tools. They can use that to try and bait out some of the denial utility from the likes of Fish-like on Smoke, and maybe some of the Goyo cannons as well from Wreck, depending on what kind of setup SCARZ elect to go for. They are investing actually quite a bit of utility over towards the admin half of the map, so maybe anticipating a map clear here from PSG, or just being worried that that is a possibility. Early spawns indicating that it could actually be a map across hit here from PSG, but especially with the kind of personnel they have behind the scenes, PSG should be well equipped to rotate and pivot accordingly, depending on what they think is the best option.
Yeah, Rob did his homework on the desk as well. I want to commend him very quickly because he brought up the entry statistics, and I got the previous match as well in terms of the tracker. It was the last 2 maps where things got really, really bad for PSG Talon. We're talking about an 8-6-7-4 games, I should say, and they only got 4 opening kills in those 2 matches. Like, that's quite a domination to a very, very high level. So that's something to kind of take into account here. You're attacking Consulate. What do you need? Opening picks. Really stretch that defense. Well, that's not going to happen. Yas peeks over, headshot, and Wreck will get the opening pick for SCARZ. And, well, that kind of ties into what I was just saying, is that SCARZ, they're the best opening kill team in APAC North. A Soldier has
Where's he going?
And there's nothing that can be. He's just dead. So it's a 5v3.
He's gonna lay it in Oregon. I don't think I've ever seen that.
That's good from you. That's good from you guys.
Yeah, no idea what the protocol will be from here. I guess we play the round out and
you got to play the round out. Yeah.
Debrief post round. SCARZ with the opening pick. So they were still in a good position and looking to confirm the round. Minute 30 on the clock. Fish-like up close with shotgun. Wreck has the crossover towards vending, as you can see on the overhead. So both of these key choke positions are being held pretty aggressively by SCARZ, and understandably so, given the man advantage. There's no real incentive, though, for them to swing into these peaks. Instead, force PSG to be the ones to show initiative, which is certainly the correct call. There is some flash utility. You also have the full belt from Ryder. PSG, I mean, it's certainly not round over. They should still have the mentality that they can try and grind this round out, but such is the nature of Consulate, it will be very difficult. Misa, good flash up close. Should be a kill, but unable to find it. Now rushes through the flames. It does eventually net that pick. Leaves Ryder in the 1v2, but he's still stalled out.
Still got 40 seconds. There's a bit of time here. He doesn't have to rush this Ryder. I mean, he's low, but he certainly doesn't have to rush it. Just has to see if whether or not Washoy Gator end up giving him a free pick.
Oh, Washoy's gone below. Has Nitro. Gator has his still as well. So default plan will not be the play. I presume Washoy's playing for it. Or maybe not. Oh.
Yeah, yellow ping. He gets off it. He's probably expecting contact. If he got that kill, he could have actually pushed into CO and gone for a plant there. Doesn't find it. SCARZ with a 2-man advantage to begin this round. We'll get the opening round. And considering the fall through bug, I don't think we're going to have to do any shenanigans, as he ended up just dying anyway. Poor old Soldier. So we can carry on to the second round. That's one of those super. I have not seen that before. Yeah. I don't know how he triggered it or how that happened. I will say though, I had heard when CJX was kind of being developed and stuff, one of the known issues was sometimes a fall through the map. But that was the first time I've ever actually seen it. And that issue wasn't, I don't think, pertained to this map in particular. Hopefully that's just a one-off. But either way, SCARZ did get the real opening kill anyway. That's the concern for PSG Talon that they need to be mindful of. Gas lost his life really early, and I got a really disgusting statistic as well when it comes to, so I call this one the Xenox not so fun fact of the day, guys, at least if you're a PSG Talon supporter. Yas was 0-8 on entries in the last series these two teams played in that upper bracket. And he starts now 0-1 in this one. So he's 0-9 against SCARZ in opening kills over the last few weeks.
Yeah, pretty concerning for PSG. They're shooting themselves in the foot a lot this stage and being forced to play out difficult scenarios, which I guess in some respects maybe builds resilience. They'll certainly want to be finding more entries here on Cons. It's a traditionally very, very difficult map to trade out at the best of times, so being a player down makes that even more difficult. It's basement for round number 2. They introduced the Deimos for this second round. Mute available, but not selected by SCARZ, and so they may be a bit vulnerable here to vert play from above. And there should be a ton of vert in play. Ram Buck combo. Early fight over towards this lobby position. Washoy catches right up, and the trade misses. Oh! Well, eventually lands, but it was sloppy.
Yeah, it was a little bit sloppy. I mean, at least you do get the trade, but you lose the buck for the mirror. It's a small win for SCARZ and another opening kill for them on the stat sheet. Miss is going to have to get aggressive here on the Deimos. Deathmark activated onto the fan area of Choppy. Oh, that's a lovely swing from Soldier. Clean. And gives PSG Talon a pretty good look into this round now. Lots of time to work with this man advantage.
Rek will go searching them. 3v4. Sensing that he needs to make a play, but PSG now certainly aware. Oh, nice shot from Soldier, sharp with the SMG in pocket. And so once again, PSG show resilience despite losing that opening pick and the delayed trade. They've now recovered the round. Gator could pose a threat though. That's one.
Oh no. Can't be losing a pick at this point in the round now. You've got to be consolidating 4v2, play together. If they push out, aggressive again. Gator's going to get a second. There was one more over towards Closet, and that was Gotti, and he gets him. But the aggression from Gator puts Fishlike into a 1v2 clutch potential. He's got 2 gas babes still remaining. Gotti will actually rotate back out the map, go towards main breach. He's got 1 exothermic. There's a gas babe that was also just thrown by Fishlike towards the breach. He's got 1 more available. Flash and Soldier and Expo. And Gotti's going to go for the plant and garage. That gas babe thrown really deep. And Gotti's not going to be affected by that. And through the floorboard, Soldier will hit the headshot. And PSG Talon are on the board. It got a little bit spicy after what was a sloppy start to the round. It was a pretty decent end for PSG Talon, but Gator did give SCARZ a little bit of life towards the end. Alas, though, 1-1 the scoreline.
Yeah, it certainly got a bit dicey through the mid to late round. One of the things that really did aid PSG Talon, though, was the fact that Soldier was on the Dockerby. They had cams hacked at that point in time. They had one over towards Piano. They had another in basement, which may also have aided them in locating Fishlike. So obviously, yeah, right about here, it does get a little bit interesting. This camera feeding information to Gator was then used against him. Swing from Gotti, that was clean. Fishlike, I think his position was potentially spotted over towards lockers, and then they managed to rotate across, and then it was a pretty easy shutdown from the hatch. So again, goes down as another good round of resilience for PSG. They've had so many throughout this stage. Again, I'd love to be able to break down the entry conversion number for PSG. How many rounds are they actually winning with the entry, and how many are they winning without the entry? Must still be a pretty substantial number without the entry, considering that number is so drastically low compared to the rest of the competition, and they still find themselves in the playoffs. Round 3 then we prepare for. Glaz in play, and the Blitz as well to get some airtime with the multi-band off. So Blitz is the next best option. Could be a pretty snappy entry here from PSG. Yeah, it's opening up the route for a basement lurk as well for Soldier. Oh, if he can get through.
He's like, boys. Come on, little sloppy.
There we go. He does have the diffuser, so keep that in mind. A-Gator as well, and Solus could potentially spot that out, but he's all the way over at console, so directly opposing portion of the map at the moment. Instead playing for Vert and potential plant denial.
It kind of just looks like a clear out roamers down below, get basement, okay, then start making our way up. Go over towards lobby. You can get yellow stairs control as well. Looks like main focus is going to be towards Spiral. 4 smokes available in this round. Misa on the glass. He'll be the impact player later on to try and clear out power positions. Most of this holding back 4 of the 5 players for SCARZ are top floor. Fish like the only one in Expo. It's kind of fascinating for Talon. They've kind of wasted a lot of time clearing out basement to make their way up towards Spiral, and only just now getting to site, but they haven't cleared anything above, and that's where the majority of this hold is, and that's got to be their concern. Yellow ping intel, of course, on the player that is holding. He's going and losing the battle as the glass with the smokes active. Why? It's the Warden. Wishoy was able to stop that, but the plant does go down. That's the main thing that SCARZ needed to stop, and they did not, and suddenly now with this blitz, it's a nuisance. You got a Nitrocell from Choppy. He's towards yellow stairs. One to watch. He gets flashed out though. No, sorry, that's going to be Fishlight. He's got 0 and 3 to this start. 3v3 post plant. Still got this Nitro. Soldier is quite low though. May not even need it.
Yeah, 20 on the board then. And the Blitz able to fall back. Yas with a headshot onto Wreck. Good post plant positions held here by PSG Talon. They cooked on the plant. And SCARZ unable to deny, now being punished. The retake far too slow, and so the clock will expire. The round is essentially over at this point. Had the stats a little bit both ways. PSG Talon with a pretty clean attack.
Yeah, I mean, a really good round from Talon, but you have to kind of be questioning SCARZ a little bit. You're playing a top vert hold, that's fine, but you got to then deny the plant. That's the whole point of the vert, and it's not like they had pressure on that second floor either. It was a really direct attack from Talon. Slipped in through basement, straight to first floor, plant straight down, despite good vert angles. You don't stop that plant, and then you've got to be pretty swift on the rotate. And as we could see at the end, the time was basically running out anyway. Like, there was not going to be an opportunity to get that counter defuse. So it's kind of like you failed in the vert hold, then you kind of failed in the retake as well. So you definitely give a lot of credit for PSG Talon, but it was a brazen push in first floor without clearing top. And if they had not been able to get that plant down and a proper Nitrocell or plant denial and the blitz goes down, we'd be criticizing Talon for just sending it in and not really having the due diligence to clear top floor. So for me, that's a round that SCARZ really fumbled the bag.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
So round 4 and we return to the top floor objective. PSG leading on attack on cons. So it doesn't happen with a particularly high frequency, so we are looking to convert this position. Last time out though on this top floor they lost the opening pick. There was a bit of an unfortunate bug for the second, and then they were forced to filter into a 3v5. So I wouldn't take a ton away from their last attempt. Outside of the fact that it was an admin across idea, and SCARZ actually did stack quite a bit of utility and setup on that side. So we'll see what PSG look to go for this time. Again, it's important to note, like we highlighted in the pre-desk, PSG have done a very good job at avoiding this map throughout this entire stage, and so they'll probably have some new ideas, a little bit like that Blitz plant cooked up and ready to go. Posturing CEO this time around, so a complete 180 pivot from what we saw last time.
You know, so far, Consulate in APAC North, 60% defensive win rate. So this is a really good start for PSG Talon. I mean, the only round that they lost was an opening kill into a player falling through the floor. You're never going to win from that position in a 3v5. Now, the one caveat to all of this, though, is they're still losing that opening kill department. 3 rounds straight for SCARZ, where they've been able to find the opening picks. But in a round such as the prior one, it doesn't really matter if the plant does go down. That opening kill is largely irrelevant. Amos employed again with Ryder. Misa also again on the glass. Didn't really get to have impact in the last round due to Washoy on the Warden countering. Not close in the smoke. And only has 2 smokes this round, Misa. Doesn't have a lot of help from teammates in terms of extra smokes available. 5 drones left. Choppy, another opening kill for SCARZ. So PSG Talon have been at a constant man disadvantage this entire first half. Yet they lead.
Yeah, losing that Deimos will bolster the roam down below and make this plan a little bit more difficult to go down. Minute 20 on the clock. Good drone over towards console office. Fish like up close. Gas Babe in hand. If and when a player is to rappel in, he'll respond with a Smoke Babe.
Yeah, and 2 Nitros as well. And now without the Deimos, you can have Wreck over towards Expo. A lot less pressure on that first floor. Got it. Oh, easy kill for Fishlike. First one on the board for him. There was that Nitrocell as well from a Gator. He had that available on the mute. And this is going to be a clinical round from SCARZ. And I think this is probably the difference between these two teams sometimes, is when it's more structured, SCARZ just look way better. But when it starts to get a bit sloppy, a bit chaotic, that's when Talon can kind of slip through the cracks.
Well, round will be over in a moment here. Soldier just farming picks. 25 seconds on the board, no diffuser, BPC, position well and truly known at this point, and SCARZ will now stabilize and not feed anything for free. Shotgun swing from Fishlike, and it's back-to-back wins on the top floor for the defense.
Well, that was a round, though, on that floor that was won, actually, in a comprehensive fashion. I mean, you kind of scratched the first round. There's not really too much more to it. But that round was really won nicely by SCARZ, and probably the most comprehensive round win that we've seen so far here on Consulate. 2-2 scoreline. Talon, desperate for a third attacking round, to really set themselves up nicely going into that second half. But remember, it is also their map pick. And I think a map like Cafe is going to play far more similar to the round that we just saw. More structure, more set play, more holding positions. Talon having to then push in and clear out these angles. Consulate can be a map, site dependent, that can certainly get a little bit more free flowing, and I think that's when Talon can play to their best. You know, you kind of think about that sloppy nature and where that really suited them. The irony, though, is that they did lose out on Clubhouse, SCARZ last time to Talon, which definitely can play to that structured kind of play style.
Attackers are moving to defuse a bomb.
It's been a while since we've both been on a mission like
Obviously, that was a 2-1 in that upper bracket quarterfinal, and I think this has all the hallmarks of being a similar scoreline in terms of this series. Winner plays D+, moves on to next week. Good information for Wishoy on the pulse. Early aggression again from SCARZ on the defense. Not ready for it was Soldier, and that's the Ying and the top fragger. That's a big impact kill for SCARZ.
Drones up and running.
Yeah, Wreck there on the Oryx pre-hitting the castle barricade, and as soon as he hears the secondary hard breach, just taps it, gets the free kill. And so yeah, that's 4 straight entries for SCARZ. Oh, Gotti trying to get that exothermic on garage wall. It is ultimately successful. The angle, I believe it was from the mirror window, almost claimed his life, but he gets away on about 1 HP. And Yas can post up outside and get to work through the mid to late portion of the round. It's up to the remaining members of PSG though to fight for some vert control. And that should be relatively straightforward. It's only Wreck on the roam. Of course, the nature of Oryx means that PSG will need to be quite wary of that. Also has the ability to charge through those castle barricades and try to catch this attack off guard. So track stingers will be important. Ryder needs to place those appropriately. Wreck hearing footsteps outside. We'll be able to relay that, the rotation over towards garage. It's important that SCARZ from this position really just don't feed anything for free, whether that be on the roam or, well, I was going to say, on the flank. Fishlike gets caught. And Wreck looking to maybe double down here on the aggro. Pre-fire towards the hatch position. Right idea, but bad execution.
Well, I mean, execution might be a little bit irrelevant because there's perceived pressure. You know there's an Oryx roaming around. He starts shooting from a certain position. There he is, catches Misa, so it gets people moving. There's the trade, though, from Ryder. I think Wreck's done okay here. Nitrocell thrown out from Wishoy, but it will miss. But remember, Gotti is incredibly low. Won't take much. Even that gas babes that are available, you know, one tick at that, and he's going to go down. Gas station towards main breach. There's one smoke left for him, but Gotti also has one smoke available. So that's the win con right now for Talon. Try and get this Glaz to be impactful off the back of these smokes.
Well, the frag grenades over towards Choppy don't do much in swaying his position. So it's a 3v3 duel, 15 on the board. Yas forced to go deep, caught. Well played there, up close by Choppy. In the meantime, Washoe also found one, and on the drop right of falls, SCARZ take the round.
Yeah, they just can't get this Glaz to really work. They've played it a couple of times now, and either it's been, you know, simply like a Warden counter has really halted the use of the Glaz, or even just without the Warden, it hasn't really had impact, being able to be useful. I think you definitely just think about maybe dropping this Glaz now altogether, try and play a little bit more direct rather than this setup play that PSG Talon are clearly trying to do. 2-3. And also, you know, even though it's a 3v3, there's about, like, what, 40 seconds left. You're playing basement consulate. You haven't cleared out kitchen. You haven't cleared out pillar. There's still a lot of really good power positions for the defense, and you have to essentially think about drops. You have to think about rushing, and that's what we saw there coming out of bot yellow was the rush through the smoke and the gas babe. We saw the rehost called, and then about 10 no's instantaneously.
Thank God. Maybe he just froze for about 5 seconds. Well, thankfully for us, we'll continue on here. Final round of the half. Probably should have mentioned prior as well, the additional bans. It is the Valk of the Blitz off the board, so double shield taken out for attack. And the Valk as well, not unable to now feed information for defense. Again, will supplement that with the Solace back in play. And looking to play above once more. Now, last time PSG went for a bit of an unorthodox hit. They sent the Blitz from down below basement, came up spiral, and hit a bit of a blind spot in that site, which SCARZ were unable to deny. The Blitz banned out this time around. It may be a different approach. Soldier does jump onto Blackbeard, and so I guess structurally they could go for something similar, maybe.
It's a better looking lineup, though. I like it overall compared to the Glaz play that they were bringing before. Mista can lurk. You got Ying for the entry. Obviously, the Buck can get to work on the floorboards. The Blackbeard will help with the entry as well. So that's going to be the goal. Can Mista find a pick or two on the roam? And then Soldier and Gotti, the eventual entry towards site, needs to be played off of those two. And then the flank watch as well from the gridlock is fine, especially on a map like Consulate. Long test opened up. Usually you might bring a Flores and the Roteros to do that, but frag grenades thrown. Opens up both sides of that long desk. Can't really play it now. This is a decent start from Talon, and they haven't lost a player. I mean, it sounds simple, but that's been the biggest issue for them as well so far in this half. Is it's 5 opening kills on Rotor SCARZ. So it's not so much about that battle in itself, but you look at the time on those stats: 2 minute and a half, 2 minutes 40.
Yeah, pretty good peel defense at the moment from SCARZ. They haven't forfeited any picks, yet they've wasted a large portion of this round. And PSG may have to start investing utility like those Candelas on the clear above. Keep an eye on Misa as well. He's lurking basement yellow stairs, so he could also be a bit of a threat if he can hit a backstab. Maybe time it with the fall off here from defense, or even send it up yellow itself and try and catch this defense on the ground. It's an opening pick for PSG. Yes, on to Choppy. Misa to lurk, and the backstab, that's one. Was there a second? There was. I thought so.
Knife.
I thought there was a second, and Reckons the knife. I thought I was seeing things for a second without the immediate trade, but PSG is still a player ahead.
Yeah, I think Misa was fighting demons there as well to kill Washoe, but at least he got that kill. Two more seconds spraying, and he would have got knifed by Rek without the kill. They still hold a player advantage, 30 seconds, and more than anything, it's job done from the Nook. You don't really need the Nook at this point. You've still got your Blackbeard, your Ying. Bark with the Skeleton Key, opening up more lines of sight as well. But it's this drop. This is going to be the scary one. There's not a lot really to contest it. No Nitro cells. A couple of goo mines for Fishlike really shouldn't be enough to kind of stop this. Into Piano now, and Soldier looking to stick that plant. Yes, with another kill. And this might be a 3-3 half. Can't stop that plant from going down. Blackbeard in the post plant. And this becomes almost impossible. Good little angle as well on the floor from Yas. He's had a big round. And it's been a decent half from PSG Talon. I'll look to tie it all up, 3-3.
Yeah, Feudal here from Rec, who has been very active on this defense for SCARZ and has been overall playing quite well. One more, 20 seconds on the clock. Caught on the trade. It's an even half, a 3-3 scoreline. PSG, I think, will be pretty satisfied overall. They had that one unfortunate round with the bug. They then had the second attempt on basement, which kind of went a little bit astray as well. So maybe that would be the most disappointing round for them. Unable to crack top 4, but that's a little bit more forgivable on cons. And they, again, rounded it off. Those Expo Piano attacks overall were definitely standouts. So I think a well-deserved 3 rounds for them. We'll see if they can translate that into a strong defensive half as the bands now roll through. Monty and the Clash. I do wonder if we see the double down with shields here from PSG to kick things off, or if it will be something like the Grim or a Cap. Yeah, Blackbeard as anticipated, and Azami also out.
Well, defense is the strong suit as well for PSG Talon. The only outlier to that was actually Nighthaven Labs. They're the 3rd best team in the region when it comes to defense, and certainly far and away above versus SCARZ. So they're set up really nicely now for the second half of Consulate. And that's probably why when you kind of look at the last series these two teams played, that that 3rd map was just really out of nowhere. It's like, how does a top defensive team like Talon, and you kind of look at the statistics, not have the ability to defend on labs? And so that was the difference maker. Of course, banned out in this series straight away by PSG Talon, and we've got ourselves another good scrap between these two teams, where I don't think largely there's much separation in terms of skill level. And the real test is going to be whoever wins this, and obviously one of them will, how are they going to go against D+? And that's going to be the real test. Obviously, you got to get there first and foremost. SCARZ got 2-0'd in the playoffs, but they were competitive in the group stage against D+. And for PSG, of course, they did actually beat D+ guys back in the last day of group stage on Skyscraper. So they might have that going for them, that they might play well against D+. They actually missed out on the 2nd seed against D+ by 1 round differential. So if they had beaten them 7-4 on Skyscraper, PSG Talon would have finished 2nd in the group stage.
So it's admin across, and as you can tell quite clearly, rather uncontested. There were some reinforcements established, but very little in the way of actual presence. First contact will be made likely with Ryder. He's at the vending machine with the shield setup. And there is catch in play. The ADS devices from Soldier, which, to reiterate, do now catch bolts from Capital. So there'll be a bit of a reliance here on SCARZ and be able to clear that efficiently. They do have the shock drone. They also have impact EMPs, and A Gator will throw that out. Still, some of that catch, though, is available, but not all of it. Frag grenade will land, and that's well played to kick things off by SCARZ.
Who did you predict for this series?
Good question, Jake. I'll get back to you on that one.
Well, I went for PSG Talon. It just kind of felt like they've gotten themselves stable as a roster and as a team. And, you know, sometimes you lose a series 2-1, especially in a close fashion over the first 2 maps. And Nighthaven Labs was not quite as much of a close fashion, but so far they're looking pretty switched on. I mean, you look at this scoreboard, yeah, it's tied, but they also lost a round as well due to a bit of a bug. I think overall had good moments.
I went SCARZ, Fearex, PSG for the day.
Oh, yeah, same as me.
So I feel like most of us probably would have, to be honest. Oh.
Right with the opening pick. How are you? A little bit helpful, but not for the attack. It was probably more helpful for the defense. Choppy on the rappel down, top spiral. One high launcher used to try and put some pressure towards vending, but bees alone aren't going to do enough. And that swing towards long desk, it's being watched from multiple angles. And while it is only a 3v2, Choppy very low. And they still haven't cleared vending. Yes, he's playing really well right now. He's switched on. He's got yellow and red ping intel onto the final player of Washoy, who got shot from a distance. And realistically, this is looking like 4-3 in favor of PSG Talon.
Yeah, good round there for PSG. Opening pick translating across to a round win. The initial vending clear was actually not too bad from SCARZ. They dealt with the shield, some of that utility, like the Goyo, etc. But then the follow-up wasn't great. They went for that kind of unorthodox upside-down repulse spiral as well, which did net some success, but in the meantime, the rest of the hold kind of faltered. I like the play from Yas. He found that window of opportunity to reposition vending and just stuck there. And despite being beat out, he didn't panic at any point in time. He was happy to forfeit that. He was happy to, you know, forfeit his life if he needed to, and instead allowed the rest of the team to establish the crossfires to protect him. So overall, good start for PSG. But top floor is the site that you pretty much have to win in the context of this match.
Yeah.
We didn't see PSG successfully attack it at all, so it's a bit of a gimme for defense, at least between these two so far. Likely going to come down to Expo to be the difference maker, and maybe even Garage to some extent as well.
Yas had 18 kills, by the way, last time these two teams played. That was, of course, across 3 maps. He's up to 8 kills now already. So that's a big turnaround for a decent player on PSG Talon, and they're all going to need to be playing well. Unfortunately, Misa, a little bit of a slow start right now. 2-7, has had some awkward exchanges, but when you kind of look across the board, Ryder, Gotti, Yas, Soldier, all playing well. And similar can be said as well for SCARZ. So they bring the Blitz, they bring the Ying, the Dockerby. A little bit more aggression maybe from SCARZ in this round on the 8th. Good little drone from Chopper to get some information as well towards CO. But Gotti with the opening pick, and that has now swung. After 5 consecutive rounds opening kills, it's now 3 to Talon. Fishlight can't convert onto Soldier, but he did push him in towards Wreck, and with that straight in towards Piano to stick this plant. And it doesn't look like there's going to be anyone to stop. Misa does kill at least the player that was above. Needs to get this one as well. And while the plant has gone down, the Blitz has been dealt with. And you got a 2-player advantage. So certainly a very realistic retake coming for PSG Talon. And indeed it will be all that easy. All 4 players still up as well. And while they let that plant go down, it was a fast rush from SCARZ. But SCARZ were never then really in good post-plant positions. And Talon were very quick to react.
Yo. Hey, trying to go the way of PSG. Yeah, I mean, good work up above. That was a massive 2K, and whilst the plant wasn't actually denied, the shotgun 2K was huge. It opened up the window for that retake opportunity for PSG. We're sure he was left no other option but to contest third up above, and with the entire team there, it was pretty much inevitable that he was going to be traded out as well. So, clean work from PSG. That's now 3 opening kills in a row. I wonder if that's their longest streak in the stage so far, given how low that percentage is. It might not be too far off. Let's see if they
didn't
can
have
do the
3 in a
rotation.
row at all last time these two teams played, so that's already a good trend for them. Don't forget, though, they did actually win the opening map last time these two teams played, so it could be more of the same. They won that one 7-5 on Clubhouse, and they actually ended that with a really strong defensive hold. So there's some similarities brewing already. Of course, lost then on Bank 8-6 and then 7-4 on Labs. Cafe to follow this, and then, if required, Bank. Which would be quite fitting to probably go to Bank, considering how close it was last time. And obviously, Talent, they'd like to avoid that. They'd like to close out Consulate and then cause the upset on Cafe. And so far, it's looking pretty good for them. Up 5-3. And once again, Fish on the Blitz. So they dropped the Ying for this round. They'll keep the Dockerby. They'll keep the Twitch as well. It's Thatcher and the Ace to try and maybe help more on the hard breach side of things. They've still got some aggression up their sleeves with Aegator and Fishlike. Aegator already now towards vending into Long Desk on a bit of an early lurk up above. Oh. Wait, can he spot the top of his head from that default? I don't think so. It's just hiding behind Long Desk. Either way, you get it now down spiral. He's obviously towards yellow. Could catch him on a timing here.
Surely a pick here for me, so.
Yeah, if he checks this properly, Aegator will be dead.
Unless Aegator hears him, maybe.
Here we go.
didn't matter.
Oh, Ryder gets him anyway. But Misa was... I think they must have had some kind of sense that he was Spiral. If you've got Misa pushing it in that fashion and Ryder getting the kill, clearly there was a call. Ryder then gets to pushing Choppy, who had no idea he was being watched. SCARZ, their attack is just being picked apart here by a very active defense of Talon. Moving around the map, playing good positions, and winning all of their gunfights. It leaves Rek and Washoy in a very difficult position.
Yeah, I think it's very evident from what we're seeing through both halves, but especially in defense here from PSG. It's a map that they've hidden well and been able to bring some ideas inside of the server that SCARZ just aren't really equipped to deal with. And, I mean, understandably so to some extent. It's not their map selection, and so it really sets us up for a potential 3 in this series. As Rek falls, it will require a lot here from Washoy, who does at least find 45 seconds on the board. Certainly not impossible, but PSG haven't been throwing around rather too easily throughout this series. Been able to consolidate these kinds of positions. 30 seconds, drone out, pill up, but now caught in the crossfire. Yas gets the kill, and it's map point.
Yeah, and deserved as well. Absolutely deserved. I mean, like realistically, if you wipe out that opening round due to the bug, and, you know, I know there was an opening kill before it, but a 4v5 is still contestable. 3v5, okay, becomes quite difficult. Since that opening round, it has just been 6-2 in favor of Talon, and they've had a pretty good control of the game, outside of the fact that for a lot of those rounds, yes, SCARZ were still getting opening picks, but look at the difference now that we're seeing these opening picks from Talon. 4 in a row for them. 3 alive, 4 alive, 3 alive, 3 alive in those 4 rounds. So they've been quite dominant. A 3k from Misa, a 3k from Yas. And even the one time that we really got to see that plant actually go down from SCARZ, it was just pretty much an easy retake anyway. The SCARZ have not really had much of a say at all in this half. Nothing is working for them. They've got absolutely no control on the attack. The fast-paced rushes are not working, and if they try and play a little bit more slower, that it probably plays into the hands of Talon anyway, who have had really good map control. Dare I say, I think we're going to be heading to Cafe rather soon.
Yeah, I mean, it really does have all the hallmarks of ending here. We will return to top floor, presumably, unless PSG elect to go split, but I doubt it. Top floor has been impenetrable for attack in this series, and 3 rounds it has appeared, and it has not been attacked into successfully once. So all the numbers are leaning into PSG being able to close this out in a 7-3 fashion. Head us over to Cafe, the map selection of SCARZ, who should show a little bit more fight, you would assume, on their selection. Again, for context, it's a map that was banned by them once throughout the group stage and banned against them 6 times. The one time they did play it, though, it was against Fear X, where they did fall short. 7-5 scoreline, though, so very close in the context of a best of 1. On the flip side, the stats for PSG on Cafe, very much low down in terms of their preferences. It's number 7 out of the 9 map pool. It was banned by them 7 times throughout the group stage. They did not have a ban against them once, so essentially a permaban for PSG. So we'll see if that's, you know, them successfully hiding it, and maybe a little bit like their consulate, but I kind of doubt it. I feel like SCARZ will have a similar advantage to what we're seeing here from PSG. We'll just flip heading into that second map, and expectations that we should get back.
I mean, I will say, Talon, if they close this out 7-3, we'll be taking some really good momentum into Cafe. Right, got to close this out first, though. Not impossible for SCARZ to get on a bit of a roll, especially if they can start to get their opening kill game going again, which I know they're certainly capable. Here comes Rek straight through copy, and again, SCARZ trying to just bring pace.
As my friend would say, time to link some ears.
I think this is the first round, though, that Talon have kind of just said, you can have the map, we're going to play the site. And back in the defensive setup that they've brought. Vulcan canisters, ADSs, the Warden on site as well towards reception. Donnie trying to play up close. 2 drones left, by the way, Guz, and there's a minute 40.
Yeah, I was checking that.
One drone left.
Yep. Oh, good frag grenade.
Big nade though onto Gotti. He just couldn't get out of the way in time. He's down but not out. Glass is activated from Yas, and the plank going down now from Washoy, and no one close by to stop this. SCARZ are going to take this round.
Okay.
They've just blitzed it.
Yeah, I mean, completely subverting expectation. It will be the first successful attack here on the second floor, and unlike every other attempt, very unorthodox. The send through con window, the Amaru to back hit. Good grenade at the start, which was the trigger point for this particular attack. SCARZ then steamrolling Talon, who are still in their default positions. Yas fighting back 2 versus 2, but now only that 5 seconds, maybe a little bit more to jump on that diffuser, and I mean, no time to deal with Rek, who's outside. Only 8 kills for Rek in this series, but I feel like every time we're watching him, he is having impact. We'll show you upside down, finds the final kill.
Okay.
I mean, that was a well-constructed attack from SCARZ off the back of that attack.
Definitely their best round of the half, no question about it. And finally, that pace that they've kind of been trying to bring all half does reward them. All off the back of that frag grenade, though, that got the down onto the smoke as well. And Gotti, to be fair, wasn't doing a whole lot wrong. He just got outplayed. But if he stays alive there, I don't think that plank could have gone down as successfully. So that was the big pick. That kind of opened up the door for SCARZ, and they played off that really, really quickly.
Attackers need to locate
Good teamwork, brings it back to 6-4, out of the timeout. That's the result they were hoping for. Keeps this map alive. Still got some work to do, though, SCARZ, and winning 3 rounds straight against a strong defensive team like PSG Talon isn't going to be easy, but again, I think a lot of it just is going to have to come down to SCARZ trying to adapt on the fly, see how things are developing in the round. You get the pick on the Gotti, you go. And it wasn't even the opening pick either, because Ayagator got Ryder at the same time as well. Sorry, looking at the wrong one. Sorry, Soldier got Choppy. But they got the down onto Gotti, which in theory doesn't count as an opening kill because he wasn't actually killed. And that really set things in motion.
Securing the wall.
Note as well that Grim and Fenrir are the additional bans in play. And Gotti this time has actually crashed, it would seem, and so a rehost has been called. 6-4 scoreline, PSG lead.
Bomb diffuser has been dropped.
Bit of an unfortunate way to just temper things a little bit, but
yeah, the momentum was building in this match as well, so it's a little bit unfortunate. Probably more for SCARZ than anything. Out of the timeout into a round win, you want to carry that momentum, then into a rehost. So a little bit unfortunate for them. For Talon, it's probably not as much of a big deal, but they would also too like to close this map out. They don't want to linger here and allow SCARZ to get comfortable. So I don't think either team's going to be too happy with this rehost.
Well, the break is ready, Jake, so we'll take 5, get this lobby back up and running, and be back in a moment's time.
They say it's not the destination, it's the journey.
And the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. And you know what?
They're right.
처음 본 순간부터 눈을 뗄 수가 없었어. 이 세상 하나뿐인 너 처음 봤으니까 빠졌으니까. Then you got me sinking low. 사랑이란 단어로 썸도 아닌 썸을 타며 행복한 줄로. 친구들이 다들 바보래. 사랑 표현 못한 벙어리. 한 번도 안 해봐서 어떡해 honestly. Cause 1, 2, 3 중요한 건 you and me. 내 곁에만 있다면 Baby can't you see. 자꾸 쳐다보면 뭐해. 말이라도 걸어봐. 속마음을 표현해. I know it's gonna be alright. 손이라도 잡을까. 봄에 안겨볼까. Whatever your love language. I know it's gonna be alright. Can't take all this hot and cold. Love shouldn't be this hard. I know 뭐라고 있는지도 모르겠잖아. 어렵지 않아. 무슨 생각한지도 정말 진심인지도. Guess like I've never guessed before. 나 좋아하는 건 맞아. 친구들이 다들 바보래. 사랑 표현 못한 벙어리. 한 번도 안 해봐서 어떡해 honestly. Cause 1, 2, 3 중요한 건 you and me. 내 곁에만 있다면 Baby can't you see. 자꾸 쳐다보면 뭐해. 말이라도 걸어봐. 속마음을 표현해. I know it's gonna be alright. 손이라도 잡을까. 봄에 안겨볼까. Whatever your love language. I know it's gonna be alright. I know it's gonna be alright.
I had a feeling, why am I not surprised? Shattered the ceiling, the glass in my eyes. I'm turning gold, why you so cold to me? Some of the words get harder to find. Swallow my feelings, they don't sit quite right. I'm like, what's the point? You disappoint me. Only showing up when it's convenient. Why is no one here to save me? Moving pieces across the board like it's a game. Oh, what a way to frame me. I know I shouldn't care, but I'm over being you. And maybe it's all in my head, 'cause it's time for something new. I'm not even famous, but all you blaming on some lame excuse. And maybe it's all in my head, 'cause it's time for something new. I needed new friends when you didn't show. Poured out my heart while you say home. And I tell you something, it broke my confidence. When these thoughts are toxic, it's darkness. Only showing up when it's convenient. Why is no one here to save me? Moving pieces across the board like it's a game. Oh, what a way to frame me. I know I shouldn't care, but I'm over being you. And maybe it's all in my head, 'cause it's time for something new. I'm not even famous, but all you blaming on some lame.
Alrighty then, welcome back from the technical pause. The action will resume in a moment's time. 6-4 scoreline. We will return to Expo and Piano for this map point round. PSG with 2 more opportunities to close this one out in regulation, but SCARZ off the back of a tactical timeout prior to the previous round were able to hit a very successful attack on the top floor, the only round where the attack has been able to find success on that objective. So can SCARZ cook on 2 more occasions and push this one to OT?
Yeah, we lose the stats, unfortunately, due to the rehost, but Yas has been incredible so far in this match. 11-5. Lottie actually 2-0 on the entries. Has been leading the way, at least for PSG Talon. Not a whole lot on the side of SCARZ to kind of fluff about. Not a single player is actually going positive right now. In fairness to Wishoy and Rek, they are even at +0, but yeah, SCARZ still got a bit of work to do to close this and get themselves into an overtime position. 2 more rounds. They won the last one really, really well out of their tactical timeout, but then into a rehost kind of offsets any chance to build momentum off of that previous round. It's a good little reset moment here. I said though before the rehost for PSG Talon, they probably wouldn't have been too happy with the rehost either. You know, get back in, respond to the previous round, and try and close this map out as quick as possible to move on to Cafe in a winning fashion. Slight change up in terms of some of the compositions as well. We're going to see the Allah for the first time for PSG Talon in this half, along with the Echo. So they've changed up their composition to try and close this out. On the flip side for SCARZ, a combination we've seen a little bit of from both teams. The Ying, the Docker Beat, the Blitz. They want to go fast. Logic Bomb does get called out, and with that, the hit's going to come straight through into Piano for Fish-like. But he can't make it all the way in. Gets shut down. Rek's going to find a pick onto Ryder, so it's a 1-for-1 trade, although still down is that Blitz. Now has been finished off by Gotti. Rek's going to be able to pick up that diffuser. And this is where SCARZ need to adapt very quickly. You no longer have that quick plant potential.
So 3 versus 3 then. Misa also falls. Rek still unable to get that plant down, is repositioned over towards lobby. Working with Agator for more. Yas is on the ground, but Soldier bites back and covers his teammate. The res now on the cards. Should be a 3 versus 2, midpoint of the round. And the plant here for SCARZ just becomes increasingly more difficult.
Yeah, nothing up above in terms of pressure on this second floor. And all 3 players for Talon are up on this second floor. And now you can send the Yoke down below, although it has been spotted. Soldier's going to send this one up. Little burst and red ping information as well. Good pressure onto Wishoy. Rek running around has also been pinged out. I'm not sure exactly. They got a minute. They could have potentially gone for a top floor clear. But they're going to try and go for a smoke plant and see if this will work. And if it does go down, not bad. But not only shot out, but they had the Yokai as well. That burst is not going to be affected by the smoke. And it's an easy position to know where that plant is going down successfully. This is looking like it'll be the map, guys. It seems as if PSG Talon have done enough. Close out Consulate from above. Wishoy will take a battle that he must win. Cannot. Very, very low. And eventually shot out by the shotgun of Soldier. And it will be a 1-0 start in the series for PSG Talon. Really convincing win on Consulate.
Yeah, really clean work there from PSG Talon. A 7-4 victory on their map selection. They had to really grind it out, especially in that first half, but ultimately too good on defense, and SCARZ with too little, too late. It's Cafe on the other side.
You know how they say it's not the destination, it's the journey?
And the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. And you know what?
They're right.
As I was saying, we have to look at what's ahead of us now and not worry too much about the
Wait, did you
past.
see that?
What?
Wait, what is this doing here?
Whoa! What the hell is going on?
Guys, we need to go.
Jess, what are you doing here?
We need to go now.
Jess, Doc is gone. We have to go back.
There's no time. There's really no time.
Can't take this anymore. I'm tired.
He's our head coach. I have to go save him.
You're already dead.
There's no escaping now.
I had a feeling, why am I not surprised? Shattered the ceiling, the glass in my eyes. I'm turning gold, why you so cold to me? Some of the words get harder to find. Swallow my feelings, they don't sit quite right. I'm like, what's the point? You disappoint me. Only showing up when it's convenient. Why is no one here to save me? Moving pieces across the board like it's a game. Oh, what a way to frame me. I know I shouldn't care, but I'm over being you. And maybe it's all in my head. Guess it's time for something new. I'm not even famous, but all you blaming on some lame excuse. And maybe it's all in my head. Guess it's time for something wanna take it further tonight. We don't have to get bitten, so don't hold me back. We don't have my side. Why can't you be the light that I need? Can't you see what you've done to me? I wanna fall with you. I wanna flow with you. I need to know the truth. So tell me why you send me those signs filled with flowers and lies. Then you tear me to pieces and fade through the night. I broke down my walls and then you left me falling. I just wanna get you out of my life. We're born to fall, and I give it all just to let you know that I will keep you close. We're born to fall, and I give it all just to let you know that I will keep. So tell me why you send me those signs filled with flowers and lies. Then you tear me to pieces and fade through the night. I broke down my walls and then you left me falling. I just wanna get you out. So tell me why you send me those signs filled with flowers and lies. Then you tear me to pieces and fade through the night. I broke down my walls and then you left me falling. I just wanna get you out of my life.
처음 본 순간부터 눈을 뗄 수가 없었어. 이 세상 하나뿐인 너 처음 봤으니까 빠졌으니까. Then you got me sinking low. 사랑이란 단어로 섬도 아닌 섬을 타며 행복한 줄로 친구들이 다들 바보래.
So we return in this elimination match between PSG Talon and SCARZ, heading to Cafe for the second map of this series. PSG Talon taking out Consulate 7-4. Pretty convincing fashion, certainly the better of the two teams, and now looking to see if they can book their place in that lower bracket final next week against D+. But we go to SCARZ map pick. They do begin on the attack of Cafe, so they'll be able to see if they can get themselves off to a decent start as we head into the band phase. It'll be the Blackbeard and the Grim banned out by PSG Talon, and the Castle Clash by SCARZ.
So PSG will begin on defense, and they should be able to find comfort from this particular position. They gained some momentum, I guess, defensively back on Consulate, and they looked actually quite strong across the board. They really only got caught off guard by one slightly unorthodox hit from SCARZ. That was back on the top floor. They swung Econ window for the plan, and Amaru backstabbed through CEO window. Outside of that, every other site was pretty confidently played. Their power positions, their vert play especially, was actually quite strong. And funnily enough, some of that will translate here over towards Cafe. Top floor as anticipated for this top floor, and they're actually going to run double catch. And so that should help fortify some particular positions like Pixel, where they'll play a shield. So we've wound the clock back about 5 years. It could even open opportunities to play inside lounge itself a bit more aggressively. Cocktail as well, difficult to clear. So we'll see what SCARZ can bring. Thatcher will be quite a powerful tool here, so I like that repick. I don't know if they've necessarily spotted the double catch, but either way will be a good selection. They did sack 3 drones in the prep phase, so hopefully they can act upon that intel. Uses EMPs effectively to help clear that position. Otherwise, util dumping in towards Pixel will be a challenge, and if that becomes a problem, then getting lounge across will also be difficult.
And hence the Clash ban as well can pretty much empower that Pixel position even more so these days, and be a nuisance on other sides as well. So decent ban out from SCARZ to not be available for PSG Talent. As we get underway, PSG Talent certainly a strong defensive team. I'm kind of looking at this half as thinking 4 minimum if they want to be able to take this map. And SCARZ played with a lot of aggression and pace on Consulate, but Cafe doesn't really allow that to be the playstyle. You have to clear out, you got to play, especially top floor, spend a lot of time clearing out positions, clearing out util. Can't rush.
While they clear over towards Pixel's already been a failure. The EMP was successful. Gotti takes a chunk of damage from one of those frag grenades, but the shield's still standing, and that catch will now be back online. So the early portion of this round has been, unfortunately, a little bit messy from SCARZ. Now, fortunately, they do have backup with 4 grenades, but they've used all of those EMPs. This has to land now. Gotti has once again been hit by the EMP. Okay, he falls back this time around, shield cleared. So, look, not too bad from SCARZ. I guess just adds an additional 20 seconds and maybe takes away a bit of utility that could have been used elsewhere, but yeah, certainly could have been a lot worse.
There's a lurk down below. Misa in laundry has a nitro cell. Won't do much with that from laundry, but the main thing is really the lurk. These guys really need to get good shot control, and that's where Rek now finds himself located. Put some pressure towards washrooms. Clear out Gotti, who has taken a bit of damage, still has 2 impacts available. Good util here for the defensive Talon. These are the kind of rounds you really need to be solidifying. Gotti does find an opening pick. Art was onto Rek, who had got shot control. Fishlike will fall as well.
Okay.
And he does get the pick onto Soldier. Now looking to clear out Gotti is choppy, and does do so towards washrooms. And suddenly, actually, SCARZ has done a decent job to open up this site. But as they did that, they lost Washoy in the process, and Choppy now finds himself at 1v2. Pistol out, no, back to the main gun. There's this one cocktail, and knows there should be one towards white stairs. Line scan is good, can move, try and get a little bit of space, get closer. Really Talon need to try and make sure... Oh, lovely clear. I was going to say make sure to play off of each other, but Misa was kind of stuck towards top white. 15 seconds, Choppy doesn't have the diffuser. Yellow ping intel here, though, for him to play off towards planks. He just misses the shot. He had the chance, though, guys. He hits his shots, they win the round. But just in the final stages of that, he was looking a little bit closer to the right. And PSG Talon will escape with a round win that they should have always gotten. But a win is a win.
Yeah, first round setting the stage for maybe a close one between these two here on Cafe. Quite an even round. SCARZ didn't have the best initial util clearance, but they were able to make up for that through the mid to late round. However, PSG just outnumbering them there at the end, making that clutch attempt very, very difficult. They both played almost too patiently to the extent that we saw Choppy with a bit of a forward play, but eventually shut down. We rotate over towards reading for the second round. Pulse will be in play, casting the mind back to Consulate. We did see a bit of Solace play, but it's Pulse this time around to gather information, and with triple Nitro in play here from PSG, Soldier will be able to position himself in such a way, probably over towards that train position where he can watch for the red hatch drop. Maybe they can find a pick or two, whether that be in lounge or bar, etc., try to alleviate pressure later on. IQ, though, available for a Gator, so there is direct counterplay on offer here from the attack.
The other thing to note as well, it was 6 opening kills to close out Consulate, and then to start with an opening kill here as well on Cafe is a real testament to PSG Talon, because it's the biggest strength of this SCARZ roster, guys, at 58% coming into this series in terms of opening kill engagement battles being won. It is a whopping goal. It was only 37% for PSG Talon. That is a 21% difference, but yet Talon have got the last 7 in a row. So if you're taking away the strength of SCARZ, and then you're playing into your own strength, which is defense, it's really doubling down this advantage. Clear over towards planks. Ryder's going to be able to pivot, move away, then back in towards Freezer. And in the end, a whole commotion goes on while we got to watch Ryder kind of navigating that situation. That's a trade. Now down to a 2 versus 2 with 2 minutes on the clock. SCARZ is still trying to bring that pace and aggression that we saw on Consulate over to Cafe. So far, though, mixed results.
Yeah.
Strange old round.
PSG doing a good job of sort of controlling the tempo a little bit there in that round. Sustained some of that pressure. And then SCARZ looking like they lacked info right at the tail end of that round. Weren't particularly aware of how many players potentially were still above, and certainly where they were positioned. Backstore one of those positions. And with that, it's a 2-round kickstart to the half for PSG Talon. And I don't think we're quite at the point where this is applying meaningful pressure in context of the series for SCARZ, but a clean rotation here and then potentially translating that into a fourth, that's where it starts to get pretty dicey. So SCARZ need to be ultra locked in here for this round, give it their best attempt. We'll see what they've got on offer for Kitchen. It's a site that can play out slightly different to some of the others, and there's a bit more versatility on offer. I think they've thought about maybe the sense drop Kitchen, but they'll rotate off that lineup, suggesting that it could be a little bit more direct bake. Rayor in play 2.
10 seconds left before insertion.
So let's see how PSG react on defense. They do have the Maestro in play. Brava available, but not selected here by attack.
Attackers are heading out to defuse a bomb.
Yeah, I agree. This is going to be surely a big hit with the Montang. Try and push through prep, open up with the Selmas, that bakery wall. Use the Rayora over towards probably small. Just don't really have the lineup to, you know, really put pressure on from above and go for a freezer hit. So the question now will be for PSG Talon how they kind of adapt to this, and if they've got kind of a backup plan in defending this bakery here. Gotti's actually in bakery right now. Now I don't know if he's used his nitro for it's a pre-place. Surely it's a pre-place. I can't imagine he would have found the need to use it already. That's 5 drones gone. And I will say the one thing for SCARZ is you can't just go for a 5-man funnel bake here. You got to get some pressure on the other side of the map. Get some white corridor pressure. Or even red stairs for that matter.
So Mesa positions up close. There's only one impact for Soldier, and well, he's already used it. So it'll be manually opened. Gotti gets the first. Pressure from the Montang will see Gotti fall eventually. 4v4.
Good pressure. Mesa opening up that Rayora gate, but doesn't really find anything towards small bake. Fish like on the Montang, trying to think about how he wants to navigate through in towards. He's going to use the secondary hard breach to get line of sight opened up. Hope he can play off of this. Still has one flame bolt available. Better pacing though from SCARZ, not just rushing through. Really looking like they're playing the setup game.
Ryder up above. He's in a pretty chill position
Ryder's
for that plant on. There's no one contesting that. There's nobody that's going to contest that. At least not from above.
The best hope would be, though, if Fishlight can get in, shield on the back, maybe doesn't quite find an angle, but I think that's highly unlikely. It is very much full stack towards Bake. Under a minute left. You can see them coming, thinking about how they want to hit this. And there's still a Maestro cam that needs to be dealt with.
Choppy does have an impact EMP for that if needed.
Ryder's definitely going to be the one to watch, and from above gets the kill onto Fishlight. Kit down, but more importantly, the Montang is down. Flames go up as well. Not a lot of time, and it forces Yagator to go and clear above. And for Ryder at this point, he will be very much aware if they're sitting in mining, watching, waiting, but the headshot from Yagator. Here's just a little cleanup. 20 seconds though in a 3v3, still set up nicely for PSG Talon, but SCARZ have cleared that second floor control. So it's all about the horizontal pressure now from Talon coming over towards bot red. Choppy will lose his life, and Ayagator has to make his way down, and they got the cross covered. Talon go 3-0 up here on Cafe, and it forces a tactical timeout by SCARZ.
Yeah, you have to take the tack at this point in time and discuss what you're going to do to improve your reattempt. It's far from over there. I mean, there's still a very real chance they're able to recover this half, no doubt, on the reattempt, provided they can adapt quickly, but still a little bit concerning. PSG are doing quite a good job in closing out these rounds, and in fact that gulf kind of widened a little bit as the rounds progressed. Round 1 came down to just the one player alive. Round 2 there were 2 up. I think round 3 was maybe 3 alive in the end there for PSG, so it just gradually felt like it was starting to slip out of control a little bit. SCARZ go for that full direct bake hit. They didn't really consider above until very late, and Ayagator was fortunate to hit a nice shot. But then the final push as well, yeah, fell a little bit flat. I mean, the initial clear right here was great, but a little bit too one-dimensional in the end. And PSG are the kind of team with pretty good tactical depth, and they're not going to allow that to really be successful most of the time.
By no means is a 3-round lead safe in Siege. It's a good start for Talon. They got to stay locked in, though. Really capitalize on this defensive side of Cafe. Attacking it's not going to be all that easy. Talon's attacks aren't necessarily their strong suit. It's their defense that gets them map wins. And SCARZ will be aware of that. SCARZ will think and talk this through and say, look, we don't really need a lot of rounds. Maybe 2 is all we need. 2 might actually be enough here on Cafe for SCARZ. They got 3 attempts to get those 2. Go top floor.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
And, you know, you think about the first 2 rounds in comparison to the third, wildly different. First 2 rounds, SCARZ tried to bring incredible pace and try and disrupt PSG Talon. Talon, though, to their credit, were able to be switched on enough and actually deal with it but it came down to a 1v1 and a 2v1. So those rounds were still gettable for SCARZ. So they're just going to slow things down a little bit. Look for these opening picks. See if someone from Talon oversteps their position. Open up the side a little bit more. It will be more gettable. No deployable shield brought this round for PSG Talon. Never mind, I'll take it back. The old Sentry with the Nitro and the deployable shield.
5 seconds to insertion. Reloading. Attackers are moving to defuse a bomb.
Yeah, it should be a pretty similar game plan again here from SCARZ like last time. They'll probably just look to refine the execution of the Thatcher EMP clear over towards Pixel. Last time out it took them a reattempt and an extra 20-30 seconds or so, so the efficiency wasn't quite as good as they probably would have liked. Maybe PSG look to aggress a little bit more this time around to disrupt it. We'll wait and see if they are to maybe contest some of these repels a bit more fiercely, but at the same time they likely don't want to throw away a pick for free, and to be fair they've looked pretty solid late round as well. Probably
this is a more systematic setup though. More systematic setup for SCARZ. Like, it to me looks like they're going back to a bit more of a default kind of nature. We'll play the slow clear. We'll clear things out. We're not going to rush. We're not going to go full head of steam. Do anything too silly. Ying and Valk, by the way, were the bans that we got during that tactical timeout. I think it'll probably change a whole lot. Ying was not banned, was not used at all by SCARZ in the first half. Valkyrie, same. He's not used at all by PSG Talon in the first half of this half. Soldier with a pick onto Washoy. Gets rid of the IQ. And Washoy, 0-4. And it's another opening pick, guys, as well. That now makes it 10 opening kills in a row for PSG Talon. They are the statistically worst team in APAC North for opening kill engagements. Against the team that's the best at it, they've flipped it on its head. And again, you don't put too much stock in one statistic, but there's probably a big reason why it's 7-4 and 3-0 right now in this series is that SCARZ are not being able to capitalize on a strength of theirs, and it's not only been not capitalized, it's been flipped entirely.
Yeah. U2 clearance was better this time around from SCARZ, but they, as you mentioned, lose a player in the meantime, another entry battle against them, and that means Gotti can sort of tuck here inside of this pixel position. Yas also holding the line from Freezer. Gotti forced back, but repositions Washroom, so still in a powerful position, can watch over the drop as well.
He's got no keepers.
Forward.
Are they aware that he's already taken in this position? Indeed, good peek and timing from Misa towards White Stairs. Rek thought he had to try and make something happen to clear out that Washrooms. And he wasn't wrong. But he wasn't able to connect, and right now nothing is connecting for SCARZ. Out of the tactical timeout, it's looking like a flawless. Indeed it will be. And you don't get a second tack. You don't get to talk things over again. PSG Talon go 4-0 up here on Cafe. The map pick of SCARZ.
Well, the stats show that off the back of a tactical timeout, you do significantly increase your chances of winning the preceding round. I don't know what the percentage is for losing it flawlessly, though, off the back of attack. I would imagine that number is very, very low. Quite demoralizing for SCARZ in this series. The last Japanese team still in the bracket, so the entire region sitting back and hoping that they can get this result across the line, but the start on Cafe has been far from ideal, as you mentioned, opening kills going against them. They've tried a couple of different things with tempo, and PSG have matched them. Tactical timeout, translating into a flawless loss. It's so difficult at the moment to make a case for SCARZ. They absolutely need to win the next 2 rounds. Back on concert as well, for context, they took a very late tactical timeout in that piece at another critical moment, kind of like this. They won one round off the back of it. It was actually quite clean, and then their momentum got halted. This time around, they haven't even been able to get that quick response. So very much backs against the wall at the moment.
Yeah. It's one thing to be 4-0 down. It's another thing to be 4-0 down when you're also 1-0 down in the best of 3, and it's an elimination game.
Attackers have located a bomb.
It's a critical junction hit for SCARZ. They're a bit of a crossroads here. You lose these next 2 rounds, and really this series is done. You lose one of these rounds, and it's highly unlikely. You win both, and it's game back on. Pressure, though, well and truly on SCARZ. But PSG Talon probably feel their own pressure ever so slightly. Sometimes you do get pressure when you're winning. You know, that you got to close out now. You're up quite significantly in this series at this junction. And you will feel that pressure as the team that's winning ever so slightly. It's there. Certainly SCARZ have more of it right now because it's do or die for them. Backs up against the wall. They're just struggling to get into the building, win the opening engagements, get map control. But there you go. Fish-like. Finally. On the board against Misa. Finally, they've stopped the rut in terms of the opening kills. Now, can they follow off of that and get this round? That's more important than a single statistic.
There's one thing PSG have shown that they're pretty good at this stage. It's losing the opening kill and still being competitive in rounds. So it's far from over. Good frag grenade over towards Yas in his position. Exposed. The second lands as well. And in fact, that is what nets the kill. So really clean utility game from SCARZ in the mid-round. We approach that minute 30 mark. Pressure now on the remaining members of PSG to manufacture a play they need to try and find a pick. SCARZ have to be cautious as PSG will grow increasingly desperate to find at least one kill back.
I am reloading.
Soldier currently feeding info on the pulse scan, but has no nitro in pocket.
Can't be losing this round over your SCARZ now.
Oh, you lose this, you're losing the series.
Yeah, 100%.
You'd be down in the mud, surely.
Minute left. Just got to make sure you think your way through this. 2-man advantage. Big run out from Gotti. Doesn't find anything. Expected maybe some pressure up above from Newbelt. Was able to get back into reading. And while he didn't find anything, that in itself is information here. Doesn't have to maybe worry too much about that default rush in through pillars into reading. All the pressure at the moment is coming from above. Choppy almost winning out that battle. That time continues to tick down. Got to find a pick here. Just to solidify their advantage. Gotti's staying alive, but eventually falls. 25 seconds. Down to Soldier and Ryder. In a 2 versus 5. Plank going down in reading in an open corner. Easy pick for Ryder. One outside the doorway. And they got the numbers, though. And in the end, it's flawless, as there was only a down onto the planter. And SCARZ on the board. 4-1 lead for Talon. But one more attacking round for SCARZ, and it sets them up going into the second half for their own defense.
Yeah, flawless into flawless. And SCARZ holding on. Just holding on to that ledge at the moment. I mean, PSG have their foot on those fingers, but unable to crush them in that last round.
Attackers need to locate and defuse.
Well, this should be a freezer hit.
Yeah, but I would anticipate freezer, right? I mean, quite clearly Bakery was a weakness for them. They could potentially go for it again, but they must have earlier pressure top floor. We did see initially on their first attack picks that sense, and they'll actually re-pick onto it here. And they'll also adjust and bring Bravo this time around. So yeah, anticipation would be a freezer hit. Bravo to counteract the Maestro. Do they double down with Twitch maybe as well for the Goyo? That's a difficult decision to make. Clearly they want a bit of flank watch as well, and I mean, double vert is always welcome on this site, so
10 seconds left.
there'll be a reliance on the Bravo here to ensure those Maestro cameras are dealt with, and then we'll see what they do with the Goyo canisters. They should have a decent belt of grenades, yeah, so 4 total, and those will need to be placed accordingly.
A big round to close out this half. In this lower bracket semi-final matchup. Lose and you are out of playoffs. Win and you play D+ in the lower bracket final next weekend for a shot in the grand final. No kills yet for Rek. Rough time for him on Cafe. After he wasn't so bad. In fact, he was the top kill getter on Consulate for SCARZ. He had to get on the board here, and Ryder was going to say very lucky to be alive, but he doesn't make it out alive. And that's the second floor pressure that they were going to hope will be there. And there's a pick on the gas as well. SCARZ haven't even really needed to get into their setup work. Forget about the freezer here. They've just gone and found 2 kills. And PSG Talon from 4-0 up have somewhat capitulated at the end of this half to give SCARZ the 2 attacking rounds that honestly are more than comfortable enough to then take things into the, well, matters into their own hands in the second half on defense, and caught out by a clutch drone. And yeah, this half's done. It's going to be 4-2. A good fight back here from SCARZ and Cafe.
Yeah, things have really fizzled for PSG. They had SCARZ pinned in the corner and, yeah, couldn't land that knockout blow in this first half. 5-1 would have set a perfect platform, but 4-2. Still looking good for SCARZ, who, if they can shake that off and find momentum on defense, might be difficult to shut down. They won't have their attack, but perhaps that won't be needed. We'll wait and see. Dynamic could shift dramatically. PSG still could look clean on attack as well. They look pretty good on Consulate. Minute on the clock here. Pretty much inevitable that Gotti will die. He gets caught. So it's 3 flawless rounds in a row. 1 goes the way of PSG, then back-to-back for SCARZ to close the half.
Yeah, and it just breathes life back into this series now, because if it had been a 5-1 half, you'd think that should be enough for Talon. And a 6-0 it certainly would have been. But SCARZ get a little bit of momentum now going into the second half, going onto their own defense as well. We know PSG Talon statistically not the greatest when it comes to attacking. 44% attacker win rate in the APAC North region, which is a staggering 8% behind SCARZ. Even further than that, almost 20% behind D+, for even added measure of impact on the point. Mira and Grim will be the first 2 bans. Probably a shield to follow, you would think. Indeed it is. Blackbeard will be taken off the board. The Azami as well. PSG Talon 3 rounds away from a lower bracket final, but must now do it all on the attack. And I would imagine overtime should be double defense as well for SCARZ.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
So PSG retain their lead. Cafe, a map that we have not seen them play throughout this entire stage. A 7-0 ban record. They banned it themselves on 7 different occasions. Never had a ban against them, so presumably one of their first, if not second wave of bans. They've shown decent promise here on Cafe so far, and really did have an opportunity after beating SCARZ in a flawless fashion following a tactical timeout. I almost thought it was time to ring that bell, and it would have been GG, but SCARZ show some good resilience and actually slam PSG in the following 2 rounds back-to-back themselves. How does SCARZ now go on defense? Still trailing, so that will be in the back of their minds. They can't afford to slip up on too many more occasions. As we get a bit of an overview of that hold. Ying will be in play, as well as Finker here from PSG, so I do wonder what they are going to cook up here. It's the singular catch from SCARZ. And the 1 deployable shield. Frag grenades prioed onto the castle barricades, so that can soak up a bit of utility for free for SCARZ, which is always welcome. It is pixel hold. We saw SCARZ utilize the Thatcher EMPs to help disable the catch and then clear that position, but PSG won't be afforded that luxury.
We'll say for SCARZ, though, I mentioned, of course, the attacking statistics for Talon. Well, SCARZ defensively, 44% win rate on defense. It is Cafe. Cafe defense is quite strong, and even more so against a team that's not that great at attacking, but a funny metric to kind of look at. It's not as if SCARZ are a certainty here. Candela's thrown in, but here's Misa that loses their life immediately. Swing in, but there is going to be 1 top white stairs. There was 1 pixel anyway, so they had the pinch, they had the cross, and they can't clear out pixel. Right, it's just going to send it in, though, on the Finker, and does have the diffuser in hand. It's almost a little SCARZ-like, if you think back to the opening 2 rounds, guys. Just trying to go for sheer aggression. Just like in Freezer.
Maybe Ryder can slip in here, and if he lands that shot, could have broken the cocktail cross. So 3 versus 4. But it still feels like SCARZ are under quite a bit of pressure. They're pinned into these positions at the moment. Somebody from the attack there needs to be the one to split them.
You've got no util right now, Talon.
And yeah,
Talon's got nothing to clear out.
Yeah, util's so low. They can't flush out these positions with a lot of ease.
This is going to be very tough for Talon. SCARZ are in a very, very good position. We've got a Nitro as well. 2 impacts. Ryder, though, finds the pick on the Choppy. Final Adrenal Surge. Does get everyone quite healthy now, though, in a 3v3. They've got to clear out Fishlike. He's the one towards Backstore. Gotti gets the kill onto Ayagata. The trade, though. Gotti is down. And no more Adrenal Surges, so you have to pick him up manually. Fishlike goes for the move, though, through Backstore and gives up his life. And with that now, an avenue. 25 seconds, so you still have the time if you want. You can go for the res, pushing up, wreck, and plays the kit now. 20 seconds, knows it's blank. 1v1 versus Yas towards shop. Still has time if he wants to go for that res on to Gotti. Rek is quite low. Gotta make a move. Yas is so slow towards bar.
10 seconds remaining.
Yas finds, of course, the elimination on to Fish, like 6 seconds. Rek, white stairs, wasn't ready,
Whoa.
and Yas will get the kill. Rek was just a little bit bewildered. Look at this on the cam. I would have to imagine that the footstep cue was in anticipation of pickup kit, run back site, go for the plant. He maybe wasn't anticipating the full-blown send down white stairs.
Or he doesn't hear over the nitro, maybe. I'm not too sure. You probably do. You probably should be anticipating the kill win con there in the late round. That was quite unfortunate for SCARZ. They got pinned in awkward positions, and despite not having utility, they kind of just got filtered down, continuing to get caught in these weird positions. Rek progressed forward, diffuser down, and it was right as he blew that nitro. Really bad timing. Soldier chilling out. Yeah, got really bad timing on that nitro rip. It was probably a completely unnecessary piece of utility.
Yeah, I think he just wanted to time him, so he's thrown it. I think he's thrown it at the kit, right, and tried to time it.
Yep.
10 seconds
But at
left.
that point, with so little time on the clock, as you said, the kill's probably the win con, and you've just got to be gun up
5
and
seconds
ready.
left.
I think he's just overcooked it a little bit.
Attackers are moving.
What a PSG Talon cooking up here. They got the Rayora, the Glaz, the Capital. It does kind of scream a little bit on the bake side in a similar fashion to what we saw from SCARZ in the first half, just minus the shield play. Massive defensive setup, though, for SCARZ in terms of utility.
Might be the first time to ever get a kill from that position in Pro League if Gotti hits a shot. Line of sight down over towards VIP. So perhaps not a bakery focus here. What have PSG been able to cook? They win this round. It's series point 4 of them.
It's a good lineup, though, that they could pivot either side. Like, it's the kind of lineup that can go bake side, freezer side.
Yeah.
It's not hard locked in either way, but right now the focus is certainly towards bakery. Logic Bomb also rings out.
Oh, he's on
hang on.
up on the bar. No way.
He's up. Could hack the cam if he wants. They're just going to go straight down the hallway and try and play off of this glass with the smoke out. There's only one gas babe left. Freeze aside. Dining and code check. So good, decent control on this first floor.
PSG know he's in here, right? Surely. Oh.
Swing back out bot white. Choppy's feeling pressure from both sides. There was that smoke that was used on the other side. Oh, this is going to be an easy kill for Choppy. Free kill. Yas has overcooked it. Yellow ping. Could have been a headshot tap. Turn around. Gotti, though, down and out. 1v2 for Ryder. He's got a minute on the Lion, plus a scan still available. Yellow ping intel at least on one player. Grab kit. Drone out as well. I tell you what, for a 1v2 as a Lion, you've got a drone. Never mind. Oh, he's just shot through the wall.
So winnable, not.
He just spammed it. He had no information. He's just gone for a spam, and it's got the kill.
Yeah,
obviously has an idea as to the location, but still, that is a nice way to close the round for SCARZ.
Yeah, they had the Echo and the Valk. I was trying to keep an eye on if they had info on that particular position. I never spotted it unless it was late. Either way, good work. 5-3 scoreline. SCARZ just continue to fight.
Attackers need to locate and
PSG, I mean, showed pretty good tactical depth in that last round. Just fell short a little bit in terms of execution. VIP had to be clean, cleared with a little bit more efficiency. Had they have had that control, they would have had basically a highway towards side and potential for the plant. But a good lockdown there from Choppy made that so difficult for PSG. We now head over to reading round 9. First time seeing this side in this half.
Getting that 5th round for Talon does give them a bit of that breathing room in terms of the rounds that they kind of need to win. They don't have to probably feel the pressure. They lost that previous round before the previous. It would have been 4-4 now, and you'd be starting to feel the pressure being on the attack. But that 5-2 scoreline, now 5-3, does alleviate a little bit of that concern. They can go for a couple of different plays. This time they bring the Montang for the first time in the half. certainly were opportunities for Talon in that previous round. I think it was that clear VIP that really solidified the round win for SCARZ. If they had cleared out VIP properly, I think Talon would have been in the best position to win that previous round and go 6-2 up.
Tracks released. Activated tracks.
IQ in play then for the 9th round, and the Valkyrie will see an appearance as well. So Gotti will need to try and find as much of that information as possible and look to deny it from SCARZ. Monty in play. First time we'll see shield play from PSG in the half. Nitro saw potential from this held position from Lashoy. Over down towards Pillar. If he hears the drop, he might instantly go for the Nitro. Elsewhere, Soldier been able to scout now over towards Pixel, so he's got a good foothold and spots one of washrooms. Unable to progress thanks to the Glio util. I think they might play for the repel clear here, PSG. Flashes could be prepped. Frag grenades as well. Misa falls first though. Lashoy is also considering a flank.
Now. 4 in a row for SCARZ. They're gaining ascendancy. They're picking up form. They're looking a lot better now in defense. Closed out the first half, bringing that momentum into the second. Yeah, Talon really just not even going to get anything out of this round. Goes 5-4. I wouldn't be surprised if they think about a tactical timeout while they've still got a bit of breathing room in terms of the overall scoreboard. But history would suggest you probably leave it till 5-5, maybe even 5-6. But the concern for me now is that, yeah, you did win, of course, Bar Cocktail 7th round. But if you look at a lot of the numbers and you look at some of the statistics, it's kind of been SCARZ really gaining quite a bit of momentum. So you probably want to try and, you know, stop that as soon as possible. I really wouldn't hate a tactical timeout right now for PSG Talon. And you can get an impromptu one here from Gotti. He'll find himself a pick onto Gator. SCARZ are starting to cook. This will be their best round of the half as well. 4 players still up at the end of it. Just has that feeling. And PSG Talon are the kind of team, guys, that get themselves into good positions, winning positions. But sometimes they just don't have the ability to close these kind of maps out. You know, you're 5-2 up, suddenly it's 5-4. Suddenly the pressure's back on. They don't go for the timeout. We go into the ban phase. I'll tell you what, again, it's 5 opening kills now in a row for SCARZ, so that flips again, despite Talon getting 10 in a row prior. Echo banned out Dockerby as well, but it does feel like a large momentum shift now in favor of SCARZ.
Yeah, hard to disagree. Little, not confused, but I was anticipating probably the attack at this point in time.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
SCARZ actually going to experiment over towards mining here for round number 10 though. Mute Mozzie combination in play for this 10th round, and so I mean, info is going to be absolutely huge across the board. It was the Echo and the Dockerby banned out. It means that, kind of like we saw in the previous round, the IQ and the Valkyrie interaction will also still be active as well. So
the Echo has been played every single round this half.
Yeah.
So
it has been
that's a big loss.
Yeah.
The Dockerby played twice. Also played, you know, I guess to a decent level. But I don't think it's had too much of an impact.
Yeah, I mean, they're essentially...
One thing again.
Yeah, they're essentially introducing the Fenrir as an info gather tool. And, well, I thought PSG might stick the Twitch there for the shock drones, but as you highlight, the Monty's in.
PSG Talon need to get into this building far safer. They can't be losing players early on. 3 rounds in a row now that they've lost on the attacking side, a player at the beginning of a round. Minute 47, 2 minutes and 3, and a minute 22, which was the previous one.
Swapping mag. Sweeping perimeter.
Spotted a bomb.
Tracks out. Tracks
Wreck, by the way, went from 1 and 6 to 5 and 6, just like that. Technically 6 and 6. Of course, I think. I don't know what. Did we? We didn't have a rehost this map, did we?
No.
Yeah, Tracker's saying he's on 6 and 6, but he's obviously not.
As my friend would say, a really big fucking hole.
Mushroom pressure. Plus the Montang looking to clear above, so top down. Oh, big pick from Misa though, on to Fishlake. So Fenrir deactivated. He's done. 90 seconds. Good information on the Valk camps though by Choppy. IQ is being played this round, but so far no impact from it. One Nitro left.
And PSG at the moment are quite well positioned. Top floor control. As you mentioned, Nitros have been expended. All 3 have been used that potentially as a pre-place.
Yeah, there is 1 pre-place left. That's Choppy.
There is a Volcam pillar room though, so information still available. Could be used to maybe isolate PSG when they go for the push later in the round. There is that Nitro Soul as well, which will be aided by the Volcam. In the meantime, we're sure the SMG has found Misa, so the good luck on the ground. 4v4. 30 seconds.
Yeah, time though is a concern, but Soldier is in to train. Getting some really good information. Oh, and through the drone hole, almost finds the down onto Washoy, who is very low. That's still good intel for SCARZ after they find the pick onto Rek. Choppy's going to have to be the one to stop this plant. He's already used that Nitro Cell. It was pre-placed, remember, so he can't throw that out to Soldier. Oh, a little bit of an awkward exchange over towards Red Stairs. Plant goes down successfully. Extended shield up for Soldier. 3v3. Panayakator caught on the outside, not prepared for all the window play. And Washoy is panicking. You can see the panic from his POV. Has to go for the guard break. Has to deal with this Montang. Trying to get up close. Bring the shotgun out. And 1 shot to those knees, and it will get the kill. And indeed it will. Shots from above. And suddenly SCARZ need to quickly navigate towards this kit. Washoy also gets the kill onto Ryder. This is a pivotal moment for Gotti. Holding the angle towards the kit, and he gets the kill onto Choppy. Washoy jump out. Gotti's ready. And with that, PSG Talon have match and series point.
You can see some of the stress relief there from PSG Talon. A couple of cheeky laughs and grins. I think there may have even been a bit of a miscomm or a misplay there from SCARZ. They probably should have had the lower HP player try and get immediately on that kit. It could have even been in a bit of a blind spot as well, depending on what angle it was hit, and then Gotti could have tried to cover, but... Pardon me, the second player could have tried to cover against Gotti, but... Ultimately not to be, and Gotti plays it well. I mean, there's so low time on the clock that kind of...
Attackers need to locate
Those kinds of
and
misplays
defuse
can
any bombs
sometimes
they
set
can.
in the panic and in the chaos of the round, and I mean, that's credit to PSG and being able to inflict that. They got really good value from Soldier on the shield. The plant went down relatively safely as well, and so that bolsters their opportunity of winning out the round. Good work at the post. Match point, series point 2 of them. Kitchen in play for PSG. Again, they were going into unknown territory for this squad. They weren't able to win out their last attempt where they brought the Rayora for small bake and tried to go for the play across. That was shut down. Let's see what they try and cook this time. The sense is in play, so indicative of a freezer drop.
No tactical timeout available for SCARZ. They used that one earlier in the first half. There is one still available as well for PSG Talon. So if they do lose this, you would imagine insta-tac timeout for the final round of regulation. SCARZ should have double defense in OT, so PSG Talon will really want to close this out in one of these 2 attempts. Attempt number 1, covering the Ram, the Sens, and the Buck. So they'll go for second floor pressure. Ultimately may then look to lead in towards or freezer. Remember, no echo available. Very, very strong on this site. And you don't really need the Dockerby. So in terms of those bans, probably favoring PSG Talon for this site, for this round. And no one pressuring second floor as well from SCARZ. They're going to leave it. They'll play horizontal, first floor. Choppy will play VIP on the tube route to try and delay towards Freezer, and it's pretty much a delay-heavy composition that's being employed by SCARZ. Vulcan canisters, gas babes, even really goo mines to a degree, and the belt cam for information.
Oh my god, that is so loud. Zoto canister over towards VIP. Yas trying to shoot out the Zoto canister, but Choppy responds, so some good ideas cooking from both sides there, and ultimately Choppy does to narrowly win out that minigame. Interesting that Yas is investing the shock drone for that, as opposed to maybe trying to find Vulcan canisters.
Oh, big nitro.
That is big.
They had I think they had a Velt cam up there as well. Shock drone again to try and open up this hatch a little bit quicker. There's another Zoto, but that gets shot out. That was the last Zoto canister. One nitro available on Choppy. Opening pick for SCARZ. It's been an incredible conversion rate in this map as well. Only one round that has not been converted after getting the opening kill. So that puts SCARZ now in an incredibly favorable position. He has to drone out towards White Stairs. They're going to have to take a dry peak battle against Choppy in VIP. Smoke goes out in his direction. 45 seconds, and he's still got that nitro waiting for that freezer drop.
Question will be as well, how many Vulcan canisters on site? One just got popped default. Choppy nitro lands. It's perfectly caught.
Where's the pressure VIP? This is an awful attack from Talon. Like, this is just really no pressure VIP as well. Choppy's had nothing to worry about. Like, you can't go for a freezer hit and not clear out VIP and get that control. Like, what is Yas doing? Like, hello? Gotti's in freezer fighting site, and Yas is still just in the corridor. Help him out. Do something. There's 10 seconds left, and he loses the battle. That's an awful, awful round from Yas. Awful round.
Yeah, I mean, across the board there for PSG, team play was not amazing. I'm not a massive fan of the shock drone investment into the Zoto. I think it should be used more so for focusing Vulcan canisters, and then the lack of VIP pressure was pretty bad, and it wasn't compensated for with anything over towards Bay, red stairs. Like, I don't know what the rest of the team was trying to achieve there, but it was a bit all over the place. Fortunately for PSG, they have afforded themselves still one more opportunity here after the attack to close it in regulation. The anticipation will be that SCARZ have double defense for OT, so this is going to be their best opportunity to close this out without much stress, but certainly wait and see. They'll focus in, they'll dial in. They've been playing pretty decent across the board. I mean, most of their other attacks, whilst not all successful, certainly haven't fallen apart really quite to that same extent. So it will probably be top floor, I would imagine, here from SCARZ. Wait and see. Maybe not. We'll be reading. Top floor was successfully attacked by PSG. We cast our minds back to that one. It was a rather close encounter, and PSG, with a lack of utility, was still able to break it down. So SCARZ not taking any chances in that regard. They'll head to reading where they found success prior.
Of course, it was Fireplace and Mining that was won successfully by PSG Talon. This is slight differentiation, slight variation. Has not been won by Talon in this half, as you mentioned. 11-7 for Choppy, 10-7 for Washoy. Timeout expired for PSG Talon. They talk shop. Big round. You win this, you're into a lower bracket final. You lose this, and objectively, it's far more likely you're off the bank. It's not a guarantee. You've got OT in back pocket, but SCARZ will have double defense. It becomes a very pivotal round now for PSG Talon, and of course then therefore SCARZ. SCARZ lose this round, they're out of playoffs. So it's a huge match point round now for both of these two teams. They go for the Montaigne once again. It did help them out on reading and Fireplace, and certainly a good operator in getting a plant down on this site. Gridlock to stop any potential flank on either red, white stairs. And Gotti honestly has to be playing a super critical role. Default was up for a little bit of time, but it gets shot out. That IQ needs to deal with these Velt cams, because they did play a big part in that previous round.
Yeah, it's always a little bit tricky to track just how impactful the IQ has been, but from what we have seen, it's been doing a decent job in spotting out utility, but there has been a couple of instances where key cameras are still left standing throughout the mid to late round. So See if PSG can action that a little bit better this time out. Refocused after their tactical. Red Hat's drop from Soldier to lead the line with the Monty, and that's one Vault Camp dealt with. Nitro Cell pre-ripped from Washoy. Sends that up above and catches the drone, but no player.
You got the drone? Maybe he thought it was like it was a live drone situation. Someone would be following behind it, trying to get the timing. They'd lost the Vault Cam, so he'd lost really the ability to get good information. 90 seconds in the round, 2 spotted, 1 obviously towards Backstore and 1 in towards Cocktail. So Soldier's trying to press forward. There's 1 in washrooms as well. There's 3 players up above. Good information here from Soldier. Flash in towards Cocktail. He tries to get a different angle to get the pinch onto the tuber out. Yasto, maybe he didn't spot the player washroom.
No, he did.
He just kind of ran in, and we're going to overtime.
Soldier did a lot of really good work there. I don't know if he's miscommed it or the rest of the team's not listening properly, but PSG have not actioned this correctly at all.
Yeah, it's just an awful round.
It looked really good and promising with the amount of info Soldier was scouting, and then I don't know.
The way that Yas kind of just bookmarked it into Backstore, to me, says he either didn't know the player was in washrooms, or he just like there's no other way around it. He just didn't know there's a player in washrooms. So either it's a miscomm or it wasn't spotted, one or the other. Yeah, that's a really like I try and set this round up and its importance, and PSG Talon just shit the bed. Soldier, as you said, did some really, really good work in the Montang and has no real fault. If he did spot the player washrooms and didn't call it, then obviously you take blame. But we can't sit here and debate, comms. What we can sit here and talk about, though, is the fact that SCARZ have been able to force overtime, and they get double defense. And we've just quite literally seen a good example of PSG's, well, inability to attack at times. And SCARZ are like, well, let's just do that again. We didn't even have to play the site. We just won the battle above convincingly. Didn't even have to play peel defense. Didn't even have to do a trade game up above and weaken the attack. But the good news for PSG Talon is I guess they get a complete repeat, a complete re-go, a reset of that exact same site to begin now overtime. And it would be very on brand for PSG Talon to be 6-4 up in the second map, have 2 series points, and ultimately lose the entire series on bank.
Yes, it would be. Yeah, hopefully they don't drop their heads too much. Sure, it has been back-to-back disappointing rounds, but
10 seconds left.
all it takes is one good inspired attack here to set themselves up. So we'll see if they can recover. It looks like they'll 6-pick off the Monty on this occasion. Instead they'll prior Ying. We'll show you on the pulse. Maybe an early spawn peek attempt here. Or maybe just try and stall out some time from spawn. Just the one Nitro for SCARZ in this round. The Nitro game wasn't particularly great for them back in that last round either. A little bit overly aggressive with those Nitro cells. But one thing that will persist across is, again, this Valkyrie. And PSG electing, again, not to bring IQ. They brought it 3 times in regulation, but they won't bring it here for the first round of OT.
The attacker's bomb diffuser has been dropped.
Even in that last round, despite the flawless nature, despite the mistakes, the time was also a factor. Like, there was only 90 seconds left, and you're only kind of just pushing the Montang through bar. That was also a concern, and one that will be a concern here rather soon, because again, their inability to get early shot control and start pressuring this top floor is noticeable. Wreck is in a... Mesa's just got no idea. Yeah, I mean, they've capitulated. This series is done. Let's just skip the next round. Let's go to bank. This is absolutely abhorrent from PSG Talon. And I said it a good couple of rounds ago, guys. I think it was maybe at 5-3. And I said the pressure's on both teams, but it's still there on PSG Talon because they're the kind of team that gets into a winning position. They just lack then that critical thought process to close things out. And there is always pressure on both teams. It's easy to always say, well, the team that's losing has, They're on the ropes, backs up against the wall, yada, 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 all of that. But there's also pressure on the team that's winning to close out. And I think that pressure's got to Talon. They've just absolutely switched off. And you can give the credit to SCARZ, and certainly a good aggressive position from Rec. And SCARZ have really upped their game, and they're not making mistakes. And that's making it a lot harder for PSG Talon to capitalize upon. But Talon's attacks have just looked absolutely awful.
Yeah, 4 players up round 11, 5 up at the conclusion of round 12, and it may be flawless again here for SCARZ. In fact, it will be. Yeah, big errors being made from PSG in the last couple of rounds, but SCARZ aren't missing their shots. They're capitalizing upon those opportunities that continue to be delivered at their front door. 6-7 scoreline. Sides flip, bands restore. It's been quite some time since PSG were on defense. And in fact, the last time they won a defensive round, it was back in round number 4. It was top floor. It was the second outing on that objective. They won it on both occasions, and they'll return there for their 3rd attempt.
Yeah, and it's 5 of the last 6 rounds now in favor of SCARZ. Talk about a capitulation for PSG Talon. And we go Bar Cocktail, which they were able to win both times successfully, so never lost this site on their defensive half. They played it well, and they started so well on this map after a very good consulate, so they've only got themselves to blame, and they've shot themselves in the foot, let themselves down, however way you want to spin it. And they had that 10 opening kill streak, guys, as well, that I highlighted by the end of consulate, then to the start of Cafe. They had flipped that negative of theirs into a strength, and the strength of SCARZ into a negative. Since then, though, they've only gotten 1 opening kill, and it's been 7 of the last 8 for SCARZ, and they're converting in those rounds. So, like, it's been a total reversal of the momentum in this series in favor of SCARZ. They will then get to take that to bank a map in which they beat PSG Talon on a week ago.
Yeah, the last 9 rounds, PSG have only had the opening pick on 1 occasion. They did convert it, but that lack of entry, which they actually corrected for a little bit back on consulate, it seems they've gone back to their old ways here on map number 2 of this series. So big emphasis on them being able to collect this first kill and not give away that entry for free, but anything for free. And there's been a lot of free picks in the last couple of rounds from PSG with some glaring issues. So we'll see how they're able to correct that here. Oh, Ryder's down. So right on cue, Ryder is dead.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good util clearance there from SCARZ, but still, it's far from ideal for this defense.
Like, there's losing and then there's losing. And you can lose a map from being in a winning position and say it's close. And you can sit back and say, okay, well, that was a good game. That was a good series. That was close. And you just couldn't quite get it done. The other team was slightly better. But this has been a total beatdown from SCARZ against PSG Talon to close this map out. They have absolutely bullied them and made PSG Talon look very, very second-rate. These rounds haven't been close. You mentioned it before. 5 alive, 5 alive. Well, that's a 5v3. We're talking about no contest at all from Talon. They come defense, which they were pretty good at in the first half, and immediately lose 2, and big pieces at that. Yeah, I mean, this is I'm being completely blunt here. Absolute throw from PSG Talon at the end of Cafe. They have themselves to blame. SCARZ now have all of the momentum going into bank. They will be dead set favorites to now close this series out. It is a wasted opportunity for PSG Talon. SCARZ steamroll, absolutely steamroll all over PSG Talon towards the second portion of this map as we head to bank after the break.
how they say it's not the destination, it's the journey?
And the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. And you know what?
They're right.
Into the level 1v1, the close out for the ball, wins, saves and Holy, what is going on? He grabs that one out, 2-on-1. We're gonna see Semifinals. Y 20 prioritization. Immediately on the diffuser, Lagonis needs to get in there. You gotta go, Lagonis. Why are you not looking? Hello?
I had a feeling, why am I not surprised? Shattered the ceiling, the glass in my eyes. I'm turning gold, why you so cold to me? Some of the words get harder to find. Swallow my feelings, they don't sit quite right. I'm like, what's the point? You disappoint me. Only showing up when it's convenient. Why is no one here to save me? Moving pieces across the board like it's a game. Oh, what a way to frame me. I know I shouldn't care, but I'm over being you. And maybe it's all in my head, 'cause it's time for something new. I'm not even famous, but all you blaming on some lame excuse. And maybe it's all in my head, 'cause it's time for something honey. Let me spill the tea on all these haters all love me. Broke up all the killing it, winning attitude. 당당하게 올라가, see my altitude. 나랑 맞서 싸우면 baby you would lose. If I wasn't me, I get it, I would hit me too. I can do it better, I can do it faster. 내리에 스며들게 주문을 걸어봐, yeah. I can go much longer, I am so much stronger. 내리에 스며들게 주문을 걸어봐, yeah. 자신과의 싸움에서 지면 야구르지. 매일매일 일어나서 부터 보는 거지. Look in the mirror, say you're a winner. 주문을 걸어봐, yeah. In a bad mood, 바꿔버려 in a hurry. 꿀꿀한 기분 털어버려, I don't worry. Get through the weather, feeling get better. 주문을 걸어봐, yeah. I can do it better, I can do it faster. 내리에 스며들게 주문을 걸어봐, yeah. I can go much longer, I am so much stronger. 내리에 스며들게 주문을 걸어봐, yeah.
Banger after banger, tell 'em Tina, me not do it better. Banger after banger, tell me who could even do that better. Banger after banger, banger after banger, banger after banger, banger after banger. Tina, me not do it better. Who could even do this better?
I can do it faster. 내리에 스며들게 주문을 걸어봐, yeah. I can go much longer, I am so much stronger. 내리에 스며들게 주문을 걸어봐, yeah.
Banger after banger, banger after banger, banger after banger.
주문을 걸어봐, yeah.
That sugar sweet, you got what I need. Sipping on the potion, all that good emotion, just my kind of heat. Keep it on repeat, tested by the motion, loving this devotion. Live it up, sweet emotion. 'Cause every time, every night, you and I on a roll. Switch it up, switch it up, switch it up where I'm going. Stay on the fly just in time, know the right way to go. I'm on the road, it's my time, taking control of my life. I want to run the red lights, I've got to run this show. You always take me so high, you always make the highlights. I love the way we vibe, you're like a centerfold. Ooh, that sugar sweet, you got what I need. Sipping on the potion, all that good emotion, just my kind of heat. Keep it on repeat, tested by the motion, loving this devotion. Ooh, that sugar. All I want is satisfaction. Make a move, baby, you got nothing to lose. Give me that good reaction. Gonna make it right, little like an offer I can refuse. I'm on the road, it's my time, taking control of my life. I want to run the red lights, I've got to run this show. You always take me so high, you always make the highlights. I love the way we vibe, you're like a centerfold. Ooh, that sugar sweet, you got what I need. Sipping on the potion, all that good emotion, just my kind of heat. Keep it on repeat, tested by the motion, loving this devotion. Ooh, that sugar Ooh, that sugar
We head to the third and final map of this lower bracket semi-final. A resounding storm home from SCARZ to close out Cafe after finding themselves seemingly down and out for, well, about like a large portion of the map, but they were able to win 6 of the last 7 rounds. Flipped their form. PSG Talon as well, guys, flipped to their own form. They just looked shocking at the end of that game. 5 alive, 4 alive, and 4 alive were the last 4 rounds of both regulation and, of course, overtime. They're going to have to play a lot better here on Bank if that's going to be their form line moving forward. And for SCARZ, dare I say, after already beating PSG Talent on this map last week, they're certainly now the favourites to progress forward to play D+ next week.
I mean, it has all the hallmarks of PSG being in the driver's seat and having the perfect opportunity to progress in the bracket, and then falling very, very short, it must be said, at the end there. They had such a good opportunity. So many opportunities in so many instances. They had, yeah, that great start. They forced the tactical timeout quite early on from SCARZ. They then had a couple of series points towards the end, a 6-4 scoreline. They squandered that, and then towards the end of regulation and throughout overtime, just the volume of big glaring mistakes that were made from them was pretty crazy. So we'll see if the break has allowed them an opportunity and given them that chance to reset mentally. SCARZ will be hoping that transitions across here quite nicely into Bank and the stage set, that they maybe go in as somewhat favourites. Sense in play, so Hats Drop will likely be the win con here for the attack if required. And the rest of supporting utility there to aid. Wreck will be given the license to try and frag. Fishlike will try and pop utility, most notably the mirror windows. And then Wishoy and Choppy can crowd control the rest. Interestingly enough, the Goyo available, but not selected by PSG.
Yeah, and look, I'm not prepared to fully give up on PSG Talon. They've still got a way back into this series, being this third map after their really good work on Consulate, and they did a lot right on Cafe and then really let themselves down. So, as you said, a chance to reset. Slightly extended break for the third map. So usually it's a 10-minute break rather than 5-minute break. A chance just to completely mentally reset. It's 0-0. It's a best of 1. It's the way you've got to look at it. We've got to forget about Cafe now. Move on. Minute 40 on the clock. SCARZ on the attack. A lot of aggressive operators in this lineup. The Blackbeard, the Ying, Grim, Sense. What should end up trying to be a stall out here from PSG Talon with the lineup that they've brought as well.
Attackers have recovered their diffuser.
So far, pretty stereotypical for the basement site on Bank.
SCARZ playing the inverted mirror setup here in towards that default plant position, and so that may make things a little bit more challenging for SCARZ later if that's what they're shaped for. But again, it should be focused on a shield drop, whether that be gold or main. Gator is postured over towards lobby, so it should be gold. Correct the pressure main stairs, but from the Blackbeard. Good drone work from Choppy. So the groundwork here from SCARZ has looked pretty good. PSG not over committing though defensively. Whoa.
Nitro doesn't hit. Wishoy stays alive. RIU's right now actually not really helping him though either. There's a Nitro though that hits from Ryder onto Gator. Way to open up for Talon, but they lose Gotti. No smokes available. 30 seconds in the round remaining. Choppy confirms now the lead for SCARZ, but it's short-lived. Big pick from Gas. It's just a good old scrap here on Bank Basement. Wishoy still stuck towards Vault, but I think he's just been able to maybe slip back out. 1 Candela left. Good kill again from Yas. 2v2, 12 seconds. You can play the time now as well. You don't have to overinvest. You got Locker's control. And that's where Wishoy's going to look to try and stick this plant. And well, even if he does stick it, he's in a 1v2 on low health. They know where he is. They get him off the plant. Round's done. PSG Talent will kick off Bank with a round win.
Well, Yas certainly had some questionable moments back on Cafe, and one of them was quite egregious. But here on Bank, off to a really good start. Great lurk through Garage, netted a few kills, did a really, really good job at denying pressure as SCARZ try to converge over towards that security room position. Did a really good job, but yeah, playing his role well. Opening kill went the way of PSG. Was quickly traded, but still got the ball rolling nicely for defense. Open area, the side of choice for round 2. And good early positive signs for PSG, considering how things spiraled out of control back on the second map of Cafe.
Yeah, I think getting off to the start that they've gotten off to here, basement, bang, you got to win it, defense. And off the back of Cafe's loss as well, you don't want to be kickstarting the final decisive map with a round loss and a site you should be winning. So it just kind of quells the nerves a little bit for PSG Talon. Go to half an open area now for the second round. Little extension up above. You're going to see more of the Valk and IQ minigame battle that we saw quite a lot of on Cafe. Now over to Bank as well. Don't forget as well with the Ace and the Habana ban opening up that Kanto wall towards elevators is either impossible or very difficult.
There you go, fighting drones. Of course, that one hacked by Misa. Able to find Belt Cam as well for good measure. And some decent map control already here from Fishlight, pressuring over towards this top Nana position. Forces the fall off already. IQ is in play. And so Choppy will be tasked with identifying where that information is positioned. I don't quite know how many more cameras are left, if it's still the 2 up or perhaps another one or both has already been dealt with. A-Gator meanwhile over towards Tullers begins to pressure in towards the position of Yas. And that prompts Fishlake now to rotate across, so maybe a horizontal emphasis here on the clear for SCARZ. Elevator also occupied, so a decent little cross here from Misa and PSG. Relatively patient here at the moment from the defense. Yas trying to bait this attack in at the moment.
Only a minute left in this round. Fishlake has got Yas in that corner. Can he do much with it though? Well, there's the playoff from the shield, which is AEGator on the wide swing. And it came down to a genuine 50-50. AEGator very low on health, but does get the clear onto Yas. Still concerned for the time remaining in the round, though, for SCARZ. And the fact that AEGator now very low on health, but you still got Fishlake on that Montang. Drop down from Misa. So he's out of action temporarily, and Rek may think about going for a hunt, but you got 30 seconds, Rek, and you're on the Blackbeard. You kind of need to be heading towards the site. Tear down to the barricade. Misa, right, but he also just runs straight off. I mean, it's just time wasting. He just wasted another 10 seconds. Gas babe towards Beepers. Now the rush to come through. Nice little clear to the close left, but Fishlake losing the battle. Ryder does get traded. 12 seconds. Kid on the floor at the moment. Wishoy does get the clear onto Ryder. Gotti gets up, but then back down. Misa's over towards open area now, but he too will lose the battle. 4 seconds left. Wishoy will grab Kit. He'll look to stick the plant. Is there a way to deny said plant? No. But Soldier can win this post plant. It is doable. AEGator is incredibly low, but Wishoy, after sticking the plant, stands up, hits the shot, and we are tied on Bank.
Yeah, very, very messy conclusion to that round. SCARZ jamming it through the Gas Babe, and despite the Monty initially being picked, the rest of the team was able to flood, and some actually really well placed utility was a big difference maker there in dislodging some of the desk positions that were being held by the defense. PSG left with nowhere to run, and the comms from SCARZ were good enough to then be able to find those picks. Gas would have been a little bit frustrated that he didn't win that particular kill. Misa with the creep got caught. Soldier then unable to deny this plant position. Not really much he could do from this angle. AEGator did just enough. He was so low on HP, but he stayed alive and just offered enough pressure to make that very, very difficult for Soldier, who was unable to win out. Top 4 we go for the third round.
Well, those are going to be the rounds that are going to really decide this series. The little 50-50 battles. Certainly a winnable round for PSG Talon. They let it slip, but well fought by SCARZ. Slow pacing on Bang. 36 and 56. The opening kill times so far in the opening 2 rounds.
Attackers'
In contrast to
objective is to defuse a bomb.
Cafe, only one round was under a minute. That was the opening round, and we recall the pace that we saw on that explosive moment in the first 2 rounds on Cafe, but it was a 53-second, and never on Consulate was there an opening kill with under a minute left. So 2 rounds in on Bank, and that's been the case already. So a real change up in philosophy for both teams here on this decisive map, and it might be also that factor of, hey, this is the last map. We don't want to make mistakes. So on defense, you're less prone to maybe going for aggressive plays. On attack, you're going to be more diligent.
Yeah, it can definitely be an element of mental playing to not lose as opposed to playing to actually win, and that can cause problems in itself. Nook is in play here for the 3rd round, and Rek currently lurking through lobby. We'll see if he's able to connect something later on. In the meantime, Stockhall being pressured by the Roteros of Choppy. Ryder doing a good job in defending his position though. Fraginated to dislodge. Don't know if that one would have dealt with the deployable shield. No, it is still standing. Just the one Rotero remains here. Fishlake gets info in towards Jan. Mirror window has been popped. Again, the groundwork here from SCARZ, it's mixed, but I'd say overall not bad. There we go, there's that lobby lurk. Ryder, though, able to trade a Gator to go deep with Kit.
It's a scrappy one. Pace has picked up in this 3rd round. Trying to get it down at the moment. Yas taking a battle towards front desk. He's got ping information to play off, but good movement coming out from Washoy. He's able to keep himself alive, but he lost too many teammates in the process. All right, better from PSG Talon. They were able to answer the pace set by SCARZ. They get themselves a 2nd round. And so far to start on Bank, the 3rd and final map of this series, a little bit back and forth to begin. Good moments from both teams. And, you know, when you see 3 rounds of action now, you can clearly tell for PSG Talon's sake that, you know, the issues that plagued them on Cafe have been left in Cafe. It's series on again. They're back. And I'm sure they would be kicking themselves for letting Cafe finish the way that it did, but it seems to me, at least early days on Bank, they've moved on pretty quickly, and they're back playing some of their better Siege.
So it's basement then for the 4th round.
Defenders, protect your bombs.
It was
from
the
being
first
defused by
such choice for
attackers.
PSG, and spearheaded largely by a good hold from Yas over towards Garage. They did quite a good job in stalling out the back push from SCARZ. They went for the sense drop gold. PSG had triple nitro, and 2 of them were rather effective in helping disrupt that. So what they opt to go for this time around. Defensively, there's been some significant shifts. Again, Yas was impactful, but he was on the Tubarao. He jumps across to Fenrir for this round, and I guess most notably, they also introduced Goyo into the lineup. Ryder was previously on the Mirror. So they take away the Mirror, and so with that, maybe weakening some of their info gathering potential from the likes of the Red Corridor, but bringing Goyo in if they're able to stall time elsewhere is going to be massive. And interestingly, on the side of the attack, well, they're not bringing sense for the drop. They also haven't brought Twitch either to deal with these Goyo canisters. Now, that it wasn't banned out, the attacking ban was Nook, which was impactful lobby last round, and the Mirror as well, which was banned out, so hence why PSG aren't bringing it.
Bank is the most played map in APAC North with a slight defensive win rate, 53%. It is largely a 50-50 kind of map. So far, so good for Talon, and the 3rd defensive round would set them up really nicely going into the final 2. Rack trying to find a timing there to the player in Vault, which was Misa. Did have a Nitro Cell and he's got it in hand right now. Maybe thinking about a throw through the hatch, but already moved over towards elevators now. No mind, he's thinking about the drop. I don't think they'd be dropping at this point, not at the 2-minute mark, but I guess you always got to be prepared. I like the early pressure, though, from SCARZ towards Vault and elevators and main stairs. Just keeps the focus of PSG Talon well and truly away from the more default setup. Yes, and Ryder both towards Garage. Logic Bomb rings out. Obviously, Choppy's on the ramp, and he has got a drone. Might not be as prepared, though, for Ryder if he comes back to swing and help out Yas. He is lurking the Doc's position at the moment, so if Choppy goes to take this battle and Ryder's in a position to swing, it'll be a 2-on-1.
Yeah, Choppy's waiting for a cue elsewhere. But he wants to lurk in through garage while the rest of the team hits more of a default position, so he doesn't want to rush that. Of course, maybe he wants to try and catch Yas by surprise. Yas will likely maybe try and rotate back towards the ramp position. Taking that fight head on, even with information, is going to be a challenge. 50 seconds on the clock, and remember, Goyo canisters here are in play for defense.
I have a ping on Ryder, so Choppy's aware that there is a player just holding around bot main, could swing the Doc position. He wants to try and take this 1v1 with Yas, but Yas has been able to kind of back out. Rek lost his life on the Glaz. I just heard a pop in the background. Assault just found a headshot. There's the Warden. That's the counter for a reason. Choppy did win that battle against Yas, by the way, in Garage, so he's got Garage control. Ryder went to then challenge, looking for the trade. Oh, this is a really good angle, though, from Choppy. Prone below, hits the shots. An advantage now for SCARZ. 15 seconds. Nitro just to push Fishlike back. Now your Gator will fall. The time will be the biggest factor, as you just alluded to. Deep into red time now, and Fishlike has to stick that plant inside a CCTV. Nitro will seal it. Nitro will hit. Round will be won for PSG Talon. They go 3-1 up on Bank.
I mean,
they just had all the answers.
Yeah, I mean, pretty intense round, but you're right. Answers were good. Choppy was the shining light for the attack there. They did an incredible job in unlocking that position. However, there was a lack of success elsewhere, flooding the likes of that security position or pressuring more of a default plant. The Goyo canisters made that almost an impossibility. Choppy, I mean, did a phenomenal job up until that point. I didn't track him entirely right to the very end. I think he died maybe just prior to that Nitro, but he was the player then to try and cut that off. But yeah, ultimately, there's too much for one player to be able to achieve in that round, and a well-placed Nitro was able to confirm it. Round 1 on time. Or would have been ultimately anyway.
Attackers have discovered the location of a bomb.
And so clean work from PSG, 3-1 lead. Staff open though, it could be the difference maker in this particular map given its closeness. SCARZ able to win it out on their last occasion with the brute force through beepers. PSG will be eager to maybe contest a little bit more offside with a bit more ferocity. We saw Yas, one of those players offside towards that Teller's office position, and he got slammed. And that changed the course of the round a little bit by exposing those on site. Shield to be brought once more here from SCARZ, like their last occasion. Big change though, being the Scopos introduced. Saw the Mute Mozzie combo last time out, but the Mozzie dropped this time from PSG. They'll bring his army for utility on site, and Ryder given the license to roam off site.
Talon have led in all 3 maps now in the first half. Although technically Consulate was a 3-3 half, and they did start a little bit slower there. It was actually the second half that they really brought it back, carried that momentum into Cafe, but they've been able to really improve their form now here on Bank after a dismal finish on Cafe. 3-1 up, 3 defensive rounds is good. 2 rounds to try and capitalize on what's been a pretty solid hold so far. Good team effort. Being able to play their util really well, deal with both slow pace and fast pace from SCARZ, who've tried to throw quite a lot at them. Once again, going to bring the Montang for the 3rd time in this half. So far only found success once with it, but that was when it was aided by the Blackbeard.
Stay close to me.
I'll tell you what, there's been no real standout individual in this series. The top kill getter is Gotti on 23, and then there's a bunch on 22 and 20 and 21. Like, there is no singular player that is having a breakout performance or is being the individual difference. And it's going to probably remain that way. So it just comes down to who can play better as a team and play off each other better as a team. Minute left, SCARZ. Well, speaking of playing better as a team, they need to make sure they communicate here in a 5v5 execute.
Yeah, Yeah, the Candela will be pretty cooked here. Hatch drop likely to follow. The Nitro cell here from Yas needs to be impactful.
Opening kill wreck onto Gotti. Plant to go down for Vishlike. And no real response here from Talon. They've really just allowed this to go down quite for free. The swing from Beepers of Soldier is immediately going to be squashed, and same with Ryder. I mean, we're just talking about solo swing into solo swing in the post plant. And PSG Talon, well, they can certainly show us both their best and their worst. And this is probably closer to some of their worst siege tonight. Allowing that plant for free. No contest up above. 2 solo swings from Beepers. Honestly, all too easy for SCARZ in that round. 3-2, 1 round to go in this half.
Yeah, PSG are lacking on that objective. They were unable to adjust to the kind of player that SCARZ elected to go for that time around. Again, first attempt was the Beepers brute force, and then the Hatch drop again. They struggled to answer to. Yas is a mile away. He was the one with the Nitro.
What's the point of the Scopos on that site?
Scopos had no impact either. They never even played the shell offsite, from what I saw, unless it got switched to early on. So,
locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
Yeah. Of the two teams, PSG continue to be the ones that are making bigger blunders, and that may cost them. Yes, they certainly have the lead, but as we saw directly on Cafe, that can slip quite quickly.
Located by attackers.
SCARZ here, a 3-3 half, I think would set them up quite well indeed. So we'll see what they're shaped for. I'm seeing an Osa repick, so it might be a top square hit here. No mirror for the gen setup as it was banned out. That makes things a little bit more complex. There'll be an emphasis on holding this front desk position along the lines of sliding the Maestro as well to feed information inside of console. SCARZ bring the Bravo to counter the Maestro. They also bring the Reteros and Flores. That will double down as a good util counter onto Castle as well, even the Azami to an extent. So I mean, I really like the comp here from SCARZ. We'll see how they utilize the Osa. Sometimes teams can fumble around and overthink it a little bit, so we'll see what they decide to go for. Can also just be a tool to lock down top square as well if needed.
Yeah, multifaceted. A big round coming up to close this half. Final map of this series. Loser is out of playoffs. Winner takes on D+ next week in the lower bracket final. And I think for both of these two teams, top three's got to be the goal, got to be the pass mark. One of them's going to miss out on that. One of them's probably going to fall short. When we get to stage 2, of course, it's not really about top 3. It's more about top 4. When it comes to the APAC North region, of course, top 4 in stage 2 qualify for the major qualifier land. But this is stage 1. And really, it's all about making that grand final at a bare minimum. SI points, the spot to EWC, all on the line. The repel in for Fishlike, top square. Shield down just to gain a little bit of space here. Put some control towards that stock hallway. And Misa will fall early. Another opening pick for SCARZ. They've really started to, once again, gain the ascendancy in these entry battles. And especially on a map like Bank, it will set you up to really start to crush that defense and put so much pressure on. This top floor defense is capitulating.
God is still in a position to deny default. He can tuck in the corner and line up those gas babes. Soldier as well has at least one cam still up in executive. Second in CEO. Ryan scanned out though, so his position is known, and pushing over towards that Stockholm position doesn't seem particularly favorable. Although he's eager to maybe find a pick. In the meantime, Yas falls and it's a 2v5.
Soldier trying his best from stock. Did find the kill onto Choppy, but it does feel like largely they're in a unwinnable position. Well, Rek thinks about challenging. He runs back out. Soldier runs even further. You can't be throwing this position, though, if you're SCARZ. Come on now. Got to close this out. Hey, Gator hits the headshot onto Gotti. Soldier needs the ace. Plain and simple. 20 seconds remaining. The bailiff is in hand, expecting a close swing from Janitor. He's got red ping intel. We're surely looking to stick this plant. No one playing outside, though. And Ayagator gets shot down. It's a quad for Soldier. And on for the ace. For what would be an ace clutch as well in the 1v1. He's got the ping information that he gets the play off. And that Bullet hose could be just spraying, but Washoy is swinging, and SCARZ hold on.
I mean, Washoy there has done a phenomenal job to fight out of that position with information available to PSG. It's a good attempt from Soldier, and a shame it was a little bit spoilt there towards the tail end after the quad. 3-3 scoreline, big for SCARZ, applying more and more pressure here onto PSG. His teamwork on attack has been a little bit questionable at times tonight, especially back on Cafe. Will they look more comfortable here on Bank?
Tell you what, that was a close round, and credit to Soldier for not giving up on the round and thinking that he could still make something happen, and boy did he come close. I always say it comes down to those moments. Sometimes you could be having an average game, but when it's your time to stand up, you've got to be ready for it, and that's just a straight 1v1 at the end. I know Soldier had to get 4 kills prior to that 1v1, but he would feel as if he probably let that slip. He had the ping intel, he had time. But credit to Washoy, 8-1 now. You know, I said before, guys, that like when you kind of look at the series as a whole, there isn't that one individual across the 3 maps that has really stood out. You know, a 40 bomb kind of performance or anything even close to 30 at this point. But Washoy is having that standout performance individually on Bank in particular. In a do or die best of 1 to see if you can move forward to lower bracket. He has stood up for SCARZ, and he clutches the 1v1 in that previous round. Wait, can we... That book, by the way, looks very similar to the Coldplay CEO meme. That is actually kind of hilarious.
I am so sick of seeing that meme. That might be the most overdone meme ever, and it's only been overdone for about 24 hours.
Yeah.
I'm sick of it. It's a boomer meme. It's a Facebook meme.
But the book did it first, because it's in the map. Well, it's a boomer concept for a boomer meme. What do you expect, guys?
Alrighty, so basement in play for round 7. O's is an intriguing pick here from PSG. I wonder what kind of idea they're looking to cook here. I mean, traditionally, you would probably see it for a plant through the server wall to cover that line of sight. And you played a little bit more aggro in terms of the plant denial, preventing the red swing. I guess they were kind of at the point now where gold drops are popular as well, so maybe it could be used as a tool to try and facilitate that. Although typically I would have expected PSG to play the Sense instead, so wait and see. Bit of presence still on the first floor, but no longer. Wreck falls off, so 5 players basement, and PSG will be able to get to work with the remainder of this hard breach.
Time to make a new door.
Top blue stairs for Washoy. It's got 2 Vulcan canisters to delay. It's also barricaded himself off. So he looks like he's going to be playing this position until he dies, essentially, because hatch has now been opened up. And with the barricade, yeah, it kind of does suggest he's very much going to say, you're going to have to kill me blue stairs. Which, even, well, he can run out now, but it's being watched. He's aware of that. I mean, like, this is a lot of time that's being wasted, though. The Vulcan canisters and the fact that you got to clear out this player. It's not going to leave you a lot of time to then hit the site. Like, the slow creep up here with the Ossa in terms of the shield. Like, there's 40 seconds, guys. Like, come on. And he gets a kill. Yeah, job done. Absolutely job done from Washoy. Now, the round is still alive, but they're going to have to pick up this pace and pick it up rapidly. You've only just blown a Vulcan canister there. Why were you not doing this before, Yas?
Inverted mirror to deal with as well here. PSG need to likely go for this server wall play. Really know how they plan on opening the wall. Secondary hard breach is available, but this will be tough.
They're just going to drop sender. It's a send.
I think they're forced to.
2 nitro cells to contend with. Gas babe as well from Choppy. He's thrown 1 out, 1 more available. 6 seconds. They don't even look like getting the plant down into CCTV now. He's Soldier. He's got no room to move. And the time will expire.
Can't
And even though it did come down to a 2v2, largely irrelevant.
Why is he not planning chassis there? Why are we going for kills? You still have 2 players up. Surely one of them could be covering red, no? I didn't quite catch where the other 2 players were. Maybe they were in Narnia. But again, there's just these weird questionable decision-making moments from PSG. And SCARZ were able to capitalize.
Their attacks need a lot of work.
What
They need a lot of work.
What was the win rate for their attacks? So 44%, which put them number 5 in the league. SCARZ were 52 for reference. I mean, a 44% win rate and the way in which we're seeing them play out as well, not akin to a team that's going to be able to win this league. That is the harsh reality.
Not just this league, but you think about stage 2 against the top Asia teams, the top OST teams, you're quite a distance back. You can say 4th in APAC North. You're probably not 4th in APAC. So they got some work to do. Win or lose. They still have every chance of winning this series and progressing to the lower bracket final, but that's going to have to be what Joker and the team really work on, you know, during the break, is these attacks just look fundamentally awful at times. Large breakdowns, poor time management. Defense is not their issue. I touched on their defense before. Yeah, 60% is probably around the mark you want to be, roughly. If you're a top team and a contending team, that's probably a pass mark. So you got one part of your game in check, but your entries and your attacking game is so far below your defense, which is why PSG Talon, at times, they can look so good, and then they can also look so bad. At this point, you just got to try and bring chaos. I think if you're PSG Talon, the slow setup, methodical nature of attacking rounds is not suiting them. Bring the blitz, go fast, try and clear out this position of janitor, get an opening pick, 5-on-4, use the numbers advantage. You've got to just try and play, honestly, improper siege at this point.
Yeah, I think I would largely agree. Going for big setups can work, but it's relying on clean execution, and execution has not been their strong point. The Blitz dies first, the Deimos second, so the 2 most powerful attackers are the 2 deaths for PSG. It's another round over before it begins.
There's not much more that needs to be said on the topic. I think I think I said enough at the end of Cafe, and then now their attacks here on Bank speak for themselves. And now you've got 3 players that are basically just lost in the sauce. They're just scrambling. There's no game plan. Hard to really... And you know what? The funny thing is in Siege as well, guys, is a lot of the times, the 3v5, it's not impossible. I don't trust PSG Talon to win a 3v5. I really don't. A lot of the times you'd sit here and you'd say, well, if they do this and this happens, yada, 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 there's a minute left. But I just do not, until proven otherwise, I do not trust Talon in a position such as this to recover a round. Basically reliant on Ryder, you know, pushing beepers, getting 2 kills. And he's got the kit as well, so if he dies, round's done. Got Yas towards main stairs. SCARZ are playing this really, really nice though. Really passive, really safe, giving them nothing. They're not hunting. They don't care about the fact that, yeah, they've got second floor control. Who cares? There's 20 seconds. They have to hit sight. SCARZ are playing this really, really well. Good swing onto Gotti. And the round was done at the start of it, and Ryder just has to send through beepers. Yeah, self-explanatory. And timeout really is needed here.
So that will be flawless round number 5 in the series for SCARZ. They continue to show really good early game defense, knowing that PSG struggle to bounce back, and they play disciplined in the late round to prevent throws from occurring. It's just pretty good fundamental siege from them at the moment, and for PSG, they need to lock the F in. That would be my message as the coach. They're clearly not adhering to the game plan. This is obviously not the plan to be playing in this kind of fashion. There's a missing link somewhere in the team at the moment.
How much can a coach do right now, game day, tack time out? Because clearly what the issue is just basic fundamentals. It's not a case of, hey guys, lock in, hit your shots, and play a little bit better, and let's try this. It's literally, do you guys just not know how to attack? How can I help you? How can I help you? You got to help me help you. And you just don't have enough time for that in a minute. Like, you just don't.
Yeah,
I
think the kind of deep-rooted issues that we're seeing tonight is something that takes weeks
Longer.
to work through in action. 60 seconds is nowhere near enough time. I'd be absolutely shocked if that's enough to sort of flick the switch here for PSG. I mean, not entirely impossible, but I think what we've seen throughout the stage is the numbers suggest, and what we're seeing through this series kind of circling that point quite nicely. The attacking issues for PSG at the moment are running quite deep. Defense great, but you can't win Siege with just one half. You have to be a lot cleaner.
And if you're going to do it by winning one half...
Gator's laughing about that Valko. He's just completely missed the lineup lobby. I mean, look, for SCARZ, to highlight them, right? Like, they're playing really well this afternoon, I think it must be said. Their ability to fight back...
I don't think they're doing anything amazing, though.
No, I mean, they've played good Siege. They haven't needed to play great Siege, especially defensively. I mean, that's just the reality. They've just minimized mistakes, which is a great kind of game plan against a team that has a weak attacking win rate.
Yeah. Sure, has been incredible so far on this map. 11-2. A real standout map performance. He's had 2 3K rounds as well. Of course, stopped that potential ace clutch from Soldier as well in the 1v1. I do wonder what was said, though, to PSG Talon. And I think you stick with the Blitz, but even then, it just probably gets banned out next round anyway. You got one more round with the Blitz. You got to play fast here. Try and play some fast Siege. Be chaotic. Try and be unpredictable. Because I think the predictability of PSG Talon is their downfall.
Wreck is in the hallway, by the way. Do they know he's
Soldier
here? No,
taken down a half, and Wreck does not get cleared. And honestly, almost and probably should have gotten that kill onto Soldier. If he just aims slightly more to the right, he would have caught the body. But he was actually shooting for the head, which of course was covered by the shield of Soldier. So Wreck certainly could have done a little bit more damage there. Soldier very low on this blitz. And to be honest, Soldier played that really well. Like, he understood the Nitrocell threat. It's Misa who just didn't clear his angle.
I think much like Cafe, Soldier's shield play from what we have seen this afternoon has actually been quite strong in pressuring and gaining information. Again, it's the rest of the team maybe not having the systems in place to then play around that.
They were 6-4 up on Cafe, PSG Talent. They had 2 opportunities to get themselves to the lower bracket final. Since then, all SCARZ. Drop down from Yas into Vault. You can maybe then look for either main stairs, blue stairs, flanks. Gridlock Stingers blocking a bit of this middle portion of main stairs.
Yas could also look to
elevator.
Nade up elevator here. I think that might be the play. You would imagine Soldier has spotted this. They need to get Yas involved. They need to get Yas involved here. They have rushed that before Yas can get in position to clear from below.
Yas is a beta. He's too slow. Too many times sitting in the back line, not getting involved, not wanting to be the one to try and open things up.
That's what should have happened about 30 seconds ago.
Yeah.
It's a good example of PSG's timing being really off on attack. And SCARZ could sit and wait for these mistakes.
2v2, 10 seconds left. Double over towards main stairs. They do have the kit, but there's no real time, and they aren't going to really have the opportunity to clear out Rashoy and Ayagator. And that will be the round. Gotti can't do anything but just save his KD, and SCARZ are well and truly on their way to the lower bracket final, where they will get a repeat attempt against D+. They lost that out in the upper bracket semifinals, 7-3, 7-3. One of those actually on this map of Bank, and yeah, at this point you can pretty much all but confirm they will be playing D+ in the lower bracket final next week. Which I think D+ will go into that as favorites, but I think SCARZ, if they can play to their best ability, certainly can still be contestable. But hard to really see anything other than a D+ Fear-X Grand Final as the way of predictions would go.
I can't remember, did we predict PSG or SCARZ for this game?
We did go PSG. We did go
Maybe I
PSG, which was looking pretty good. It was looking pretty good an hour ago.
I should have reviewed
It was
that.
looking really good.
I should have taken a double look at that attacking win rate. The numbers really have not lied in this series. It's by far and away their biggest weak point.
Well, the funny thing is, though, you say that, but SCARZ' defensive win rate is the worst, not the worst in the league, but the worst in playoffs at 44%. Like, you know, it's kind of like one team can't attack and one team can't defend.
Yeah, I mean,
kind
that's
of situation.
definitely true, yeah.
But clearly right now, SCARZ have been able to defend quite a lot better today. And Wishoy on bank has just been immense as well.
Entry as well. It's 5 straight for
the entries is the big... Yeah. And that's what kind of like... You think about the end of Consulate. It was 6 in a row opening kills for PSG Talon. What happened? They won the map 7-4 and they won 6 of the last 7 rounds. And you look at then Cafe, the opening 4 rounds, opening kills, 4-round wins, 4-0 up. Like, we're talking about a team that was 7-4 on the first map, then 4-0 up on the second map. Our prediction of PSG Talon was looking pretty good, pretty darn good, in fact. And then suddenly, it's just like that massive flip, huge change. And since those 4 opening kills to the start of Cafe, they've only found 3 opening kills since. Like, we are talking about almost 18 rounds and 3 opening picks. And unfortunately, it's Misa who's 2-7, and you want Misa to be the player on your team who's able to perform in those opening engagements. Gotti's played quite well in this series. 5-2 entry overall, 23-22 KD. He's the only one that's actually now positive for PSG Talon, and I'd give Soldier some credit as well for his shield work. Ryder is certainly done okay, but has also largely been ineffective. And Yas and Misa have just really struggled. On the flip side for SCARZ, Wishoy now is the clear standout. 127 EPS, an 80% cost. And I'm talking about the overall series now. He's been the MVP, and Choppy's been right behind him as well. Now, the SCARZ have really just by default kind of really started to gel nicely and sets them up for a really good shot against D+ next week.
So A-Gate has the Warden license this round, and so Wishoy demotes to the Jaeger, so he'll have a bit of catch to play around and still has go canisters. Shotgun for close range fights. He was able to find one and waste a lot of time last time. Can PSG this time be a little bit more effective? There has been a drop server. Wishoy to be pinched in a moment's time. Flash to follow. Wishoy is blind. PSG need to find the kill, and they do. So better this time for PSG.
Yeah, better. Opening pick. What can they do with it?
Well, they're going to try and go across open server and go for the OSA plan. It's been pinged out.
Hackers have dropped the bomb diffuser.
45 seconds again. Time a factor here, Talon. You got the opening kill. You got the advantage, and you shut down Wishoy. You've already seen so far in this series that you can come back from these kind of deficits. We saw it from SCARZ on Cafe. They were able to win a string of rounds in a row. Bring the map back, send OT. You got to do the same now. Soldier with a double shield setup on the Ossa. Still 1 gas babe as well, and a nitrocell.
I mean, Choppy used double. He used double gas there, so I think there's going to be a small window maybe here right at the tail end for PSG, but it's very fine margins. If the nitro hits, it's game over.
Yeah, game over, and that would be series over as well. Rek waiting for this drop, gets the angle onto Ryder. There's only 6 seconds, and Rek at this point senses I can get aggressive, I can push up, and I can delay, and I can find the kills, but he's the only one left standing. Runs away with the win. The series win from Rek at the end for SCARZ as they defeat PSG Talon in this lower bracket semi-final. They eliminate Talon from the playoffs, move forward to the lower bracket next week against D+.
Yeah, really good performance there in the end from SCARZ. Played some rock solid siege and sent PSG packing.
Unfortunately, that is the way it goes for PSG Talon. Not a convincing last 2 maps, to say the very least. SCARZ, they boom out ahead in this one, which is so unfortunate. I mean, I can't stress this enough. I know you boys have talked about it a lot on the cast, but PSG Talon really let the ball slip here. And I think that that's going to be their storyline for stage 1. They're just just on the outside of every single decision that is made. And at the end of the day, we were talking about this with Pengu earlier today and yesterday as well, to be fair. Siege is a game of forced errors. It's very similar to tennis. Yes, you can make mistakes, but you have to be good enough to capitalize on it. And SCARZ have just been good enough to find their way back into the game, back into the series, and ultimately they've found their way into the lower bracket final now. Moments of brilliance here and there, but I think that's really all that it wrote for PSG. It's just such heartbreak for the Korean roster that little less than just a year ago now, we were singing the praises of, and we were saying, are these the next big things? Are these players going to be the representation for APAC North moving forward? Well, the answer is absolutely not.